So one thing you notice around here is we don't go through seasons very quickly. What's the high today? 54 and rainy? Is that what the
I don't
forecast
know.
is?
Yeah, it's winter.
Yeah, this
the
is
highest winter.
This is not great weather. This is again cocktail party weather. It seems like every year we have Florida.
That's right.
And I went 1 year, and this was the weather I got when I went to Jacksonville.
I mean, this is the time change weekend too, right?
Is it?
Yeah, time changes Sunday.
Sunday,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, boy, we start.
Do we fall forward?
No,
we fall back.
You get the 4:30
No,
sunset.
you never fall forward.
Damn,
You
the
always
high
fall
is
backwards.
55 today.
I know, Lance.
55 and rainy, drizzly.
It's a good chilly night.
I think I told you guys this. This goes back to our radio days because he's not there anymore. But you guys remember my good college friend Joel Lamp that runs.
Joel Lamp, yeah.
Do not know Joel.
Yeah, you do.
mean-
He runs the Huntsville basketball game. The guy that always books.
I do know Joel.
Yeah.
Yes.
As I always say, I love Lamp.
Lampshade is what we called him in college. But Lampshade used to run the cocktail party. He worked for.
The guy in Huntsville right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
He worked
wow.
for the organization in Jacksonville that's the equivalent of like Gene Hallman's organization or Night Edie
Yeah.
here in Birmingham.
Please tell me he tapped out when they said no more cocktail party.
I don't know, but he used to invite us. We had a standing invite to do our show down there.
You never told us.
I thought I did. Well, I had such little interest in going. Do you have interest in going?
We were trying to get to Grant Field first.
we had to go
we were
see-
trying to
we had to see
do that
Georgia
game
Tech.
there.
If we could have, like 2020 was a cocktail party where it was a legitimate matchup. I know Georgia's only a 7.5 point favorite in this game, and look, Florida could upset them. But if we could ever get both of those teams in the top 10 again, which I think they were in 2020, I'm all in.
I'm just saying, did y'all ever desire to go to the cocktail? Oh, if I'd have said, let's go to our show from the cocktail party, it'd have been like,
I had a great time. Now, I was young when I went.
Yeah.
It seems like Alabama's always off that weekend. Traditionally, it
well, they
always
have
seems
been
that way.
since the LSU game got big. Yeah.
So it feels like that's always a weekend I can count on being at home and watching games, and it's always the worst schedule.
It is. Look at the schedule. Said the cocktail
Now, this
party.
was supposed to be a great weekend.
I know, but I'm just saying it ends
teams
up being
let
bad.
us down.
It ends up being bad.
Teams let us
The
down.
cocktail party has never resonated with me. I don't
Duke
know
and
what
Clemson.
it is.
Duke and Clemson let us down.
Well, I mean, I don't think
Penn
that
State let us
we
down.
expected Duke was going to be that
Yeah,
good,
I
or
think
Miami was going to
I
be
think
that
you've
good, or
oversold what
SMU.
I think you've oversold what Duke and
I'll
Clemson
give you.
was
we
gonna
I'll
be.
give
thought
you.
Duke was going to be a top 20 team. We thought Clemson would be like number 4.
No. I thought it'd be big for Clemson.
Yeah, I thought,
I mean,
Penn State, Ohio State. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
mean, again, we've got Vanderbilt, Texas, which nobody thought that would
Nope.
be big.
But we
Nope,
didn't
not
think
at all.
I think we thought Miami SMU was going to be impactful.
Yeah, I mean, like a sneaky good game. That might have been sneaky good, not like, oh my gosh, I got to have it on my main screen.
Yeah, I mean, if
we
it's in
thought-
November, we know Miami's out of it.
I mean, Oklahoma, Tennessee still going to be pretty good, but we thought that was going to be a big game. We thought USC, Nebraska is still sort of a sneaky good game. I mean,
we got a good game. I'm not
We've got good
downplaying
games,
the
but-
schedule. I'm just saying, for some reason, now look, the SEC is getting away from this, but you guys know now part of it. I've started like 3 different thoughts here.
By the way, we do have 2 elimination
go ahead and
games.
take your shot at me, and then
No,
I'll
no,
piece
it's
my
just-
thoughts
it's
together.
Two
here.
elimination
Yeah.
games, and an SEC team will finally win
But
a conference game this weekend.
You guys know the SEC used to just feature the cocktail party, and the schedule around it, the rest of the schedule just kind of. Now, part of that was Alabama and LSU were both on byes because they played the next week. So, you took Alabama and LSU away for the better part of a decade. You're taking away your 2 best teams in the SEC a lot of years. So they used to build the cocktail party, but hey, we've actually got a better game in the SEC than the cocktail party. Oklahoma, Tennessee's a better game, or more meaningful game, I guess I should say.
yeah, I could see
Well,
that.
neither coach is an interim.
Yeah, but if
I mean,
you guys
I'll start there.
You'll give me if you could only watch one game this weekend. It's not
Oklahoma,
even close.
Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah. Which one would you watch?
Oh, Vanderbilt, Texas.
No, Oklahoma,
I
Tennessee.
mean, there's a chance that game is 9-6.
Well, maybe, but think about this: Vanderbilt wins. I don't know how they're not in. Texas loses. They're
But
definitely
Oklahoma,
out.
Tennessee is an elimination game, both sides. Neither
I think
team,
both are eliminated.
Neither team can survive this.
I would be really surprised if either one of those teams makes college football
Okay,
playoff.
so I don't mean to be a butthole when I do this,
Okay.
but you're telling me that if Vandy beats Texas, you in your head cannot see Auburn beating Vandy and Tennessee beating Vandy.
No, I cannot see Auburn beating Vanderbilt, especially if Ashton Daniels is going to be your starting quarterback. Yeah, I really
It
can't.
lances down on Ashton
Yeah.
Daniels. I don't know if you've noticed.
I don't know if you've watched Auburn play, but it's one of
have,
the
I
worst
have.
offenses
Yeah.
in college football.
Right.
They can't hang with Vandy.
I watched
Listen to yourself.
I watched Vandy score 17 against Missouri And Auburn's defense is light years
Not
better
light
than
years.
Missouri's.
Light years. Light years. Jim.
Light years.
Auburn's got a really good
Auburn's
defense.
got a
So
good
does Missouri.
defense. Yeah. Auburn's got a good defense. You're talking about it like Auburn's got a generational defense.
I'm just saying that
Missouri's better coached.
But you make it sound like there's no way. I'm saying there's a way Auburn beats
Yeah, I mean,
Vanderbilt.
there's a way a plane crashes into this
Yeah, but
building.
you
Incident
just
person,
said
we learned that
if
in-
they beat Texas.
I think
if
there
Vandy's-
is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I
it's
think there is.
Vanderbilt.
I'm
They've
a
got
percentage
Auburn.
guy.
They got Auburn and Tennessee still to play.
So they're going to go to Texas, beat Texas, but then they're going to lose to Auburn at home.
But every week y'all sit here and tell me how crappy Texas is.
but they are.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So
That's what I'm saying. But we finally put a nail in their head, the kill shot.
Yeah.
This weekend, if Vanderbilt beats them, the last 2 weekends they played at shitholes and they barely escaped.
They really have. They've played the dregs of the SEC and
Well,
have had to go to overtime twice
But that's
in a row.
my point, guys.
Yeah.
You're telling me, so if Vandy beats this horrible team,
wait,
now
wait.
you're telling me that they can't lose to Tennessee?
I'm not
They
clapping.
can't lose
I'm
to
not
Vandy?
clapping. I'm calling a timeout.
Yeah, I think they can lose Tennessee.
I'm
I don't
not
think they
saying
lose to
this.
Auburn.
Lance is saying this. I am far from saying that Vandy is locked in after this one. In fact, you know me, I'm against Lance on a 10-2 Vandy being locked in. I mean, I don't even think if Vandy finishes at 10-2.
That's all I'm saying. That's
that they're
what you
locked
guys
in.
are over here
No.
discussing. You are all agreeing. You agree. I agree, Lance. I agree, Lance. And I was just
No,
pointing
I
out.
don't. I didn't say that. I don't think it is a play-in game for Vanderbilt. That's what I just said. Oklahoma, Tennessee is a must-win for both those teams to make it in the playoffs. It's only a must-win for Texas.
Do you guys not pull for that, though? Do you not want to see a 10-2 Vanderbilt coming down
sure.
to it? And
Sure.
and that committee's got all the pressure in the world with
100%,
that
yeah.
scenario?
I would love to see that, but I don't think it locks them in by any stretch. I think they'd put Notre Dame in front of them.
Am I dying to see Vanderbilt in the playoffs? No. I'm not.
Jim's a name brand guy.
No, I'm just.
I mean, who would you rather see? Tennessee
I
with
don't know.
Joey Aguilar?
I mean, I do think Tennessee's a much more enjoyable watch. I like that offense a little bit better. than I
I'm
do
kind of with
Vanderbilt.
Dunaway on this, Lance. Here, let me.
I think
Let
it
me
would be
contradict
so
myself.
incredible where we've come when we talked about contracting Vanderbilt out of the SEC.
I know.
That
That
they
is
might be in
incredible.
a college football
Here-
playoff right now where Auburn can't even win a game.
I'll say the same thing about the college football playoff that I say about the Sweet 16.
Auburn's on a one-game SEC win streak. Go ahead.
They are. I love the first Thursday and Friday of the SEC or the NCAA tournament. The first Thursday and Friday
basketball.
are fantastic of the NCAA tournament, and the upsets are what drives that. But when you get to the Sweet 16, you know who I want in the Sweet 16?
The brand names.
The
you always say
brand.
this, yeah.
I do always say this.
Yeah.
And I am the same way about the college football playoff. I'm with you on this, Jim. Vandy is a nice story, and it would be one of the most incredible stories in sports history for Clark Lee.
I remember you
to
two
take them.
saying, I don't know why people say it's good when USC is good in college football.
I
and
don't-
Notre
I don't know
Dame.
why people
But
say
now-
that.
But now you're always about brand.
No, I
you're
am about name brand, but
contradicting yourself.
no, I'm not contradicting myself. USC or Notre Dame don't have to be good for college football to be good. I hate it when people say that college football is better
Okay,
when
so
USC is
so
good.
why do you have to have those brands in
You
the
don't
college
have
football playoff to make
Lance.
it a good playoff?
You don't have to. I just enjoy watching the name brands more. That's what I enjoy watching more.
It's a dangerous show when you get out your Cap'n Crunch decoder ring and try to decode everything everyone is saying here. It's keep it out though, because we'll go back to what Joel Klatt said on the show yesterday. After I remind you that it's game day time again this weekend as college football rolls into Week 10, and your game day headquarters and your headquarters for the best team gear for the holidays is our friends at the Pants Store. Guys, you can choose the Alabama and Auburn polos and hats and quarter zips and now sweatshirts and everything you need for the cooler temperatures with famous name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua and Gentile. Nothing says War Eagle and War Eagle or Roll Tide like our friends at the Pants Store. And again, the holidays are here, so if you've got a high schooler or a college-age kid, young adult, they love the Pants Store, and all ages, in fact. And for the ladies, too, the boots, the dresses, the rompers, they've got everything with free alterations and free gift wrapping. Stores in Huntsville and Auburn and Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, but they ship anywhere you're watching or listening to us right now, pantstore.com, pantstore.com. Yesterday on this show, Joel Klatt says, there's Ohio State and a big gap till you get to Alabama. Here's what he said, and then I want to talk about this a little bit more. Here's Joel Klatt yesterday on the podcast in Birmingham, Alabama. Next Round Live, as it's always referred to.
If you did just like a side-by-side comparison with Alabama and Ohio State, and you started looking at these teams, and listen, take my, I call Big Ten games, just these two teams and how they're built, the way they play. defense, not even close. It's really not even comparable, right? I think we would all agree with that. Ohio State's defense is clearly the best defense in college football. They've got two of the best players in the sport, and then another two that are probably All-Americans. So they got 4 All-American caliber players on that defense. They've given up 41 total points in 7 games. Bama's defense is not that. I think we can all agree on that. Then you go to the run games, and you can say, like, well, they're comparable, but the edge is probably to Ohio State. I mean, Bama's 15th in the SEC in rushing in conference games. Teams. I'm looking at some of these numbers, and I'm like, hold on a second. LSU and Oklahoma run it better per carry in conference games. I'm like, what? That's so. Even though Ohio State's not great running the football, they're better by an average of a yard per carry than Alabama. And then you go to Bama's got the passing game edge, and you're like, well, do they? Both of these teams have an elite passing game. And so the margin between what is right now, what is Alabama, 3 in the country?
Number 4 in the
country.
Yeah, 4 in the AP.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 behind A&M. The margin between the number 1 team in the country and the 4 team in the country is actually kind of wide right now.
So if they play in a playoff setting, which is where they would play this year, what would that point spread be?
Where are we playing
Well,
this?
it'll be neutral site if it's a playoff setting. You need to know the neutral site? I can guess it. Okay.
Neutral site, I think right now, Ohio State would be a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah,
That's not a big gap.
Not a
No,
big
it's
gap.
not.
No, I think.
Yeah, and I think he is. I think Klatt's right. They've got the best defense, but we really haven't seen them tested.
They're giving up 5.9 points per
Yeah.
game, but
Yeah.
they have been and even Klatt admitted that after that answer that
but
everybody saw.
That's what our audience, replying to the great work of Forster sending this out yesterday, this is what our audience was saying. How do we know this about Ohio State? But as I do my readings, getting ready for the show, there's a column out there or two starting to use the D word with this Ohio State team coming off of their national championship and being number 1 right now, and maybe a gap between them and everybody
Please
else.
say dominant, not dynasty.
No, is this the start of a dynasty?
Oh, wow.
We're not going to have any dynasties.
Yeah,
I just don't think we can.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
But, I mean, how do we know I think Ohio State is really, really good. I think I'm the one that got us into that conversation by saying I feel upset that we're not getting to see this great Ohio State team play good games. Shame on the Big Ten that, we don't have great games for this great Ohio State team. We sort of had that with some Saban teams. I didn't want to keep the interview going too long, but there were a couple of years where Alabama's schedule didn't meet the quality of the Alabama team, and I wanted to see them in bigger games. You know what I mean?
I really believe at the end of the year, maybe Texas holds on, but your Texas win, your Illinois win, Michigan win, you might look back and they have no ranked wins. Now, Washington might be there at the end of the year. Yeah. I do think they're probably the best team in college football, but I think Alabama's really close. I just don't think we've got a great separation, and I don't think we're ever going to have a great separation. We might have a one-off year, and maybe this is the year. Maybe Ohio State buzzsaws through everybody. I just don't see it, but they're not going to be tested again this year in the regular season until they go to Ann Arbor. I don't even think they'll really be tested outside of, mentally tested. But even if they get past that, I think it's going to be a benefit for Alabama and any of these SEC teams for the gauntlet they've had to navigate to get to the college football playoff. And Ohio State is not going to have any of these tight games and, 2-minute drills and, and important decisions when it comes to time management. And they're not going to feel the pressure this year.
Having to strip the ball.
Defense.
Having to strip the ball in the final 2 minutes to get a road win in the SEC.
But then Klatt's clapback to that would be, that's a road win in the SEC against a bad team.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people nationally look at that and say.
Now, I would say
they're not wrong. That was a road win in the SEC against a bad team.
Do you not feel if Ohio State played in Columbia, they'd win that game by 21?
I don't know. I
do.
Well, all right.
But I thought Alabama would win it by 14.
Yeah, there are always mitigating factors, though, Lance. Has Ohio State just played 4 ranked teams and it's their last game before a bye?
That's a good point.
No,
or
because
has Ohio State
because they're in the Big Ten.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, you tell me, what the factors are. Like if Alabama played that game in Columbia on the front end of the stretch they just played, I think Alabama wins that game by 14 or 21.
But mentality, too. I think Klatt would probably text Ryan Day and say, hey, do me a favor. If you can run it up on their ass, do it.
Run it up. Yeah. I do think I think Ohio State's got a better defense. I can only say I think because they haven't really been tested, but my gosh, they're giving up less than 6 points a game.
Well, I mean,
I don't care who you're playing.
They've got a first-round safety in Caleb Downs. They got a first-round linebacker.
Yep.
I mean, they're
fantastic. There's no doubt about that. But again, if you're playing in one of the best two conferences in America, and we're in almost November, and you're giving up 6 points a game, I'm going to say you got a really good defense. I know you're not tested like Alabama or Georgia or something, but you got a good defense if you're only this day and age in college football.
When is Kane Womack going to get a little respect?
Well, no. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, when you hold Vanderbilt to 14, when you hold Tennessee over 100 yards below their season average, when you hold Tennessee to only 20 points.
And you're producing points, too. 9 against Tennessee, 7 against South Carolina. But where I disagree with Klatt is, and he did say the passing games are close. I know Sayin has looked good. I would take Simpson over Sayin. I've seen, and I hear the click, which means you want to disagree.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
but here's
let me
tell
you factoring in receivers too, because I mean Alabama's receivers are holding up really, really good. They look good, but
I think there's probably NFL would tell you there's a difference between receiver, but is there really that big a difference between receiver? Do you think?
I mean, are we talking about just draftable individuals?
No. I just mean what I'm getting in the college game.
Let's
That's
just do
saying.
1-2s. Let's do Cornell Tate and Jeremiah Smith to Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard.
If you do that, then that's advantage Ohio State.
Well, but who's the one for Alabama?
I'm taking a platoon out there.
Yeah.
I'm taking a mass Alabama deep receiving corps.
Don't get me wrong. I'm saying when the NFL evaluates them, there might be a gap. I'm talking about what we're doing in college football. Is there that big of a gap? And I just don't think there is, that it means that much. The reason I would say I would take Simpson over Sayin is I've seen Ty Simpson have to go do it at Georgia. I've seen Ty Simpson have to do it against Vanderbilt's defense. Say what you want about Vanderbilt, but their defense is tremendous. At Missouri.
I've got no problem with that comment. I think they may be, when we get to that game, if it ever happens, 6 of one, half dozen of another. And I think Alabama's receivers, though they won't have probably a top 5, top 10 guy like Jeremiah Smith, or maybe not even a first round guy like Cornell Tate, they're still a great receiving corps, and they're deep. And that helps them.
You know where Alabama would have the advantage? Coaching.
Oh.
Yeah, and I like Ryan Day.
You go to board for the day.
Yeah, I really would, though.
I said that yesterday on the golf course again. I said it on the show yesterday. I've said it a couple of times. Alabama's one of the best coached teams in America.
Well, that's where we give the respect to Kane Womack.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
that's an overall.
Yeah, and I do think like they're all on the same page. Last year was kind of messy at times, and you get this again, the transition. But now you bring Grubb back, and Nick Sheridan's able to slide into his role.
I'm talking about the way they use timeouts. How aggressive they are in the final 2 minutes of the first half.
But remember how undisciplined they were at times last year.
Yeah.
Can I just say though,
even earlier this year,
one of my biggest surprises of this season in college football is how good Matt Patricia has been as a college coordinator. I did not know that would translate so well for Ohio State. Matt Patricia's been, and it's not just the numbers. Like you watch their games, and he has instituted a lot of pro concepts that have, just small things that Klatt will point out, or whoever's doing the game will point out that this is NFL stuff that he has brought to college football. That is, the college guys aren't quite so used to seeing this because it's not done a ton in college football.
Yeah.
So Matt Patricia's been tremendous.
Actually, it was done a lot for 17 years. It's exactly the system that Nick Saban ran. He talked about it on game day that they got it from Belichick, and he says this is exactly what we ran in Tuscaloosa, and he diagrammed it up on the big screen there. It's just, when you got elite players doing it, we saw it how it worked in Tuscaloosa, how it's worked at times in Athens with Kirby Smart running it, and now Matt Patricia is doing it. It's an elite defensive scheme when you've got great players like they do. Not everything is perfect in Tuscaloosa. We'll get into that in a little bit. But right now, before we do our Bojangles tender moment of the day, tell us about Odie's, LT.
Odie's Tavern. We will be out there tonight, the original location in Crestline. Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Brave this bad weather. Come out, join us. Always a ton of fun. You get there early, enjoy the great food from Rodney Davis, the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Of course, the Odie's Famous Cup cocktails in those styrofoam cups, the biggest cocktails out there. live music every Thursday and Friday. Come out, see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham Institution, it's Odie's Tavern.
Tender Moment Time presented by Bojangles and those hand-breaded chicken tenders you can get at Bojangles. Make it your high school tailgate this Friday night. Final game of the regular season for everybody, Dunaway. Is that right this Friday
It is.
night?
I don't think there's any region games this week.
Yeah, so you got a lot of out-of-region, so make it better with Bojangles for that tailgate. And then don't forget those college football watch parties. You can have it there, too. And on your way to work or school, the Pork Chop Griller is back for a limited time at Bojangles. You've missed it. It's missed you. So reunite with the Pork Chop Griller and make it bow time.
All right. So it's that time of year up north where they're harvesting things or fields are already been plucked. So that means you can cut mazes in corn. And this is amazing right here. It's a Ryan Day. Amazing day in a corn maze right there.
Would have never cut this last year because they might have to mow it down.
That's right. Kill it after the Michigan game.
Easy to clean the slate. So you got a maze up there for the fall festival, and it's like Ray. But see, I think it has to do with the maize and blue too. That they need to beat Michigan. They're better than Michigan too. They need a win over Michigan because it says amazing day.
It could be something a little symbolic about that.
Could be. That's at Little Derby Creek there. And Ryan Day actually got asked about the amazing day, Ryan Day.
He confirmed that's not one of these AI Ryan Day Facebook pics. And two, where does walking through a corn maze of your own image rank on a scale from 1 to I finally made it?
Well, I've read a lot of things on the internet, AI, that are not true. So I would say that it's hitting about 20%, but that actually is true. You know, every year they do a corn maze and they use somebody different. It was Jack Nicholas one year. They've done Ohio State theme for however many years. And they said, you win a national championship, then, we'll do one of you. And so they held up their end of the bargain. So we went out there for a little while. I tried to be normal as a family. It wasn't normal because the kids were throwing corn at each other when we were in the maze and everything else. But but it was great. It's great to do things like that when we're in the Woody during the season, just to get away even for a couple hours because, we call it the submarine right here. Like this is where we are. We don't go out in public. We don't do much. I didn't do the haunt though. I didn't do the haunt. Although I did a couple years ago and we were going through the haunt and, it's quite an experience. And at one point, somebody with a mask jumps up right here and they're like, Coach Day? I was like, man, I got to get the heck out of here. So I said, I'm going to pass this year, let the kids do it. And Nina and I waited, so.
Yeah, so the haunt is a haunted house that time of year, Halloween
Coach
coming
Day?
up on Friday.
If he doesn't want to be recognized, you can save your beard.
That's right, just shave the beard.
At least, there they are. I don't know if you guys ever go to the pumpkin patch. I did it last week.
Oh, it's always 1,000 degrees when you go in Alabama.
Yeah, it was raining, so didn't get out in the corn maze. But those things are pretty cool. You guys remember the podcast S-Town?
Yeah.
How he had those mazes on
yeah.
property?
Yeah, that was wild.
They were supposed to do a movie on that. I don't know whatever happened.
I don't
with
either.
that.
I've seen aerial photos of that maze over in, what's the name of that town?
It's outside of Woodstock.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. S-Town is what everybody calls it. But anyway.
Brooke says it is Woodstock.
Okay, it's Woodstock. We used to have the Haunted Forest over in Jacksonville. Did you guys ever have anything like that? So it was just a wooded area, and they would basically do an outdoor haunted house, and you'd walk through, and
Hay
there's
bale,
jump scares,
chainsaws,
and all that.
Never
yeah.
liked the haunted houses.
The old Haunted Forest in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You take a girl with you, and she's got to cuddle up next to you because she's just so scared.
So the thin line between greatness, as Joel Klatt was discussing, with Ohio State and Alabama, we all feel good where Alabama is very small, actually. Alabama 3-0 in one possession games, all three of those on the road at Georgia, at Missouri, at South Carolina. And you can go back into every one of those games and see a path to defeat for Alabama in every one of those games.
Yeah.
And what a difference a loss in 1, 2, or all three of those games would be right now.
Oh, it'd be
That's the
huge.
thin line between
Yeah.
greatness and where we are.
And that's the thing. You go back, the Chiefs have already lost 3 games, but there's other games the Chiefs could have lost with Pat Mahomes. So when you get to this situation now where we are in college football, good quarterback play, good coaching. I mean, a lot of these are going to come down to one possessions. And let me say this about that point spread. I think if Ohio State played in Tuscaloosa this weekend, I think Alabama would be favored. I would list Alabama as a 1.5, 2-point favorite.
Well, I wish we could see that game this weekend. It'd be fun. We need one for the TV. It'd be better watching them play Penn State.
So does that mean about 7.5 if it was in Columbus?
I don't think it would be that big. I think it'd be. I don't think it would.
6.5?
I think 5.5. I don't think they want to touch that touchdown number. And I can't imagine Alabama catching 6 points right now, but maybe they would. I think it would be Ohio State 5.5 in Columbus in the Horseshoe, and I think Alabama would be 1.5.
What were they catching in Athens? 4? 3.5?
Oh, what was it? No, it was less than that. I think it was 2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's no way in Columbus it'd be 7 if there was only 2 in Athens.
What were they catching in Athens, though?
That's what I
That's
just
what
asked.
I think it was 2.5.
Oh, I thought it was 4.5, somewhere around there, but 2.5.
So what were they getting in Athens? No,
I'll tell you right now. I think it was 2.5.
2.5.
But I'm pulling it.
The Columbus thing threw me. I thought we were talking Columbia.
Oh, Columbia. I had an Auburn fan text me at the end of that Alabama game. Maybe the biggest Auburn fan I know. And he's like, I got to tip my hat. Alabama always knows how to win games, regardless who the coach is. They just always know how to win games. And he goes, as an Auburn fan, I got to admit that makes me jealous. And I'm like, I kind of agree with him. Like, even in their worst times, Dunaway, they'd find ways to win games rather than lose them most of the time. Throughout the Saban era, definitely they did. But you're right, against Georgia on the road, against Missouri on the road, really against Vanderbilt at home, not as much against Tennessee. That was pretty much a 2-score game the entire second half. But definitely against South Carolina, there was an easy path to defeat, and Alabama found the path to victory in all those situations.
One more thing in this opening segment, as soon as Brownie tells us about Alexander Shannara trial attorneys, somebody got a program bowl eligible for the first time ever last night. Tell us about Alexander Shannara.
Well, he is a Birmingham guy, Alexander Shannara, Birmingham born and bred, and his goal was to create a firm that could handle anything his community faced, and he's done just that. They handle personal injury claims, but also claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, more than $2 billion recovered. You want to be part of that? Shannara.com, Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys.
It was 2.5, by the way. Georgia was 2.5.
Yeah.
Brooks Austin joins us in 1 hour. The film guy will be with us middle of hour number 2 coming up. Jerry Mack is the head coach at Kennesaw State. His team won last night. They're bowl eligible for the first time in program history. They haven't had a football program very long, and now they're at this level in Conference USA. They're 4-0 in Conference USA. They win last night over UTEP 33-20. They come to play Jacksonville State, the other undefeated team in Conference USA, in November. Jack State plays tonight at MTSU. Jerry Mack won 3 MEAC championships at HBCU, North Carolina Central, then left a head coaching job to be an assistant at Rice, was with Heupel at Tennessee as a running back coach when they beat Alabama in 2022, last year with the Jaguars as a running back coach, and then got the head coaching job at Kennesaw State. So he's got a history of winning in the MEAC. Now he's won at Kennesaw State, and that cute little stadium on display last night,
Man,
that little high school stadium, they get the win.
I watched way too much of this game last night because we had Kennesaw as the only college football game we had on the board last night. But I give Jerry Mack a lot of credit because I don't know if you guys watched it, but they go down and there's only like a minute and change on the clock, and UTEP's only got one timeout. They can take a knee. I thought the running back got in before Chase Belcher, who had a big game for the Owls. I thought he got in. They didn't even review it, but that gives coach and his staff time to say, hey, we don't need to it was raining out there. Like, why would you run a play when you can take a knee? You're only up 7 at that point, but they go on and they punch it in. And then freaking UTEP came down and they had to review a play where his knee touched.
They ruled him down, didn't they?
They ruled him down because they were going to score and backdoored after Kennesaw State had backdoored that game. But I was shocked that they ran plays down there. But you got to give them a lot of credit. On the broadcast, they talked about this reminded somebody of what Kirk Cignetti has done with Indiana. Kennesaw was that bad, and there's a good chance they win CUSA this year.
Easy now.
Terrible uniforms.
They still got to come to Jack State. Easy now.
They do. Perched on top, Jack State MTSU tonight, 6:30 ESPN2. Florida International and Missouri State, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. James Madison, even without Cignetti and all those players, have rebuilt again. They beat Texas State last night, 7-1 on the season. Alonzo Barnett with 5 touchdowns last night in college football. You know it's going to be a bad day, Brian Kelly edition, and we talk Auburn hosting Kentucky when we come back on the other side. Does it even really matter who the quarterback is for Auburn this weekend? We'll tell you why it does not matter on the other side. The show being brought to you by Dr. B under that wonderful Next Round hat, nextround.store. You can get hair like LT, thanks to our buddy Dr. B.
Hey, Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. If you're starting to thin out, it doesn't matter what that age is. If you want to maintain what you've got, you want to grow some back, do exactly what I did. Write the number down, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. Tell Dr. B and that great staff, the guys from the Next Round sent you. I do that non-invasive treatment. Did it last night, 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. Right now, T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable. Takes seconds to perform. Stop wasting money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B and find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316 or again, t3hair.net.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Never miss anything from the Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
11 a.m. on TNT this week. Arizona State, Iowa State Saturday morning. 11 a.m. TNT. Hard to find that game. If you're looking in that game, no Sam Levitt. Not expected to play for Arizona State as they're on the road against Rocco Beck and Iowa State. Not the implications we thought that game would have this weekend. Lance'sLock.com for all your plays tonight, including Game 5 of the World Series. And we'll get back to NFL tomorrow night.
A winning night in the NBA.
How about that?
Absolutely baffling. Finally got there. We also were 1-0 in college football. Jump on board and win with us. Told you guys 29-11 on the NFL season through 8 weeks. Jump on, win with us. We'll have college football tonight, NBA, Major League Baseball. It's all up and available. Free play every single day at Lance'sLock.com. Brought to you by our friends. The name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Hemp Services for all of your plumbing, heating, cooling, any of those issues arise in your home or business. They are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Before we get to four downs, John Talty, a really good writer for CBS Sports, points out, more on the Brian Kelly fallout, that Sunday morning he arrived, sources tell him, he arrived at the football building, Brian Kelly did, and they have fingerprint entrance, like like a lot of places have now. Some have eyes, some have fingerprints. So you put your hand up just to get in, like we used to only have in the White House to get into the Situation Room. Now it's so commonplace, we have it to get into football buildings.
Football complex.
Sunday morning, Brian Kelly's fingerprints did not work.
I mean,
couldn't get into the building. It was a glitch. Apparently, it's glitchy
okay.
sometimes.
Okay.
He goes to the office, and that infamous meeting happens a little bit later on with the athletic director. Then, inevitably, the fingerprints no longer work anymore. Just thought that. You know it's going to be a bad day when your fingerprints don't work. And I wonder what was going through Brian Kelly's hand, even though it was a glitch.
There had to be part of him that thought, on the heels of that game, knowing the pressure he was under, that it had already been decided.
That this is going to be like a tarmac story. They're going to say, I went to put my hand on the keypad to get in, and it didn't work. And that's how I found out I didn't fire.
They literally locked him out of the complex.
I love Kelly gives no Fs, though. He's, Enforcer sent us this, and I got a bunch of other people sent it to me. The day he's fired, he's sitting in Superior Grill eating in the middle of Baton Rouge.
That's right.
Like Ryan Day's talking about, we never go out. We're in the submarine. Kelly's out there just flaunting that $53 million. There it is.
I tell you what, margaritas for everybody, June.
I mean, he doesn't really care. Don't you at least get it to go?
Just, I mean, what are you supposed to do? And I had a guy on the golf course say yesterday, hey, did it ever seem like he was just, if this was his retirement plan, that he didn't really care if he won or lost? In Talty's story, he was so trying to fit in Louisiana that he hired an image consultant from Washington, D.C. to try to help him improve his public image. Basically, they did research and all of that with Louisiana fans, LSU fans. Some didn't even know they were being interviewed by these people. They'd just be sitting at a bar and like, do you like Brian Kelly? What do you not like about him? I mean, doing those type of interviews, trying to make him more likable and to fit in better. And obviously it did not work. We know what helps. Winning helps.
Can I suggest that maybe that's why it didn't work? Is that he worried way too much about what everybody thought about him and didn't just be who he was?
Yeah, that can factor
I mean,
in.
it absolutely can. I mean, because Brian Kelly is, on the surface, a very unlikable guy.
Yes.
Did you ever watch Brian Kelly at Notre Dame and think, boy, I tell you what, he is a likable dude? I mean, what do you see out of Brian Kelly at Notre Dame? You see purple-faced Brian Kelly undressing a quarterback, undressing Tommy Rees as his offensive coordinator, yelling at officials, yelling at receivers for dropping passes. That's who LSU hired, and it's like he got to LSU and decided, I don't want to be that guy anymore.
Also in the Talty story, until you see it in writing, I mean, I knew this to be true, and we've talked about it before, but when you see it in writing, it just resonates more. Brian Kelly's the first coach since Jerry DiNardo not to win a national championship at LSU.
Are you kidding me? Boy, that just sounds terrible when you say it that
You know
way.
what? He made a little bit more than Jerry DiNardo.
But that sounds awful.
When you read it, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Before we do the 4 downs today, Brownie's going to tell us about our friends at Breakline. Breakline, sunglasses and so much more of the optical wear there that's spreading the country.
Yeah, and in fact, I need to say congratulations to our weekly Breakline Optics winner from the Pick 3 is David Ferry. Congratulations to you, David. Breakline's already reached out to you. You get the sampler from Miss Rubin's Seasoning. All their flavors. You get State Traditions gear, and you get great gear from our friends at Breakline Optics. So congrats to David. BreaklineOptics.com, code TNR20 to save 20% on that order right now at BreaklineOptics.com. The thing I love about these, they look great. They're lightweight, they fit wonderfully, and they are so durable. They are built by people that just love to be outdoors. So the frames and everything, they're built to withstand the elements you run into when you're out hunting, on the lake, on the rivers, on the golf course, when you're fishing, and the lenses cannot be broken. Scott shows you the video all the time of us trying to break them, and we couldn't do it. You can save right now with Breakline Optics. Code TNR20, BreaklineOptics.com. Gift giving season coming up. Great idea there. BreaklineOptics.com. Code TNR20 to save 20%. Congrats, David Ferry, for winning our weekly prize pack from Breakline Optics on the Pick 3.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, a great way for you to simplify your weight loss with my friend Leslie and her board-certified team at Way to Wellness. Visit their website at planforme.com. Way to Wellness has a personalized plan that works, and it's designed specifically for you. No cookie-cutter plan. Everyone needs something different. You may want meal replacements, injection therapy. I use these protein bars. Just had one in the break to keep from bad snacking between meals. The website, again, is a planforme.com. They have diet plans for diabetes, by the way, heart disease, sleep apnea, and a lot more. And no contracts, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Let's do 4 downs, and it starts with
First down.
More total touchdowns for Ashton Daniels this weekend, or total turnovers in the Kentucky Auburn game. So total turnovers in that game are Ashton Daniels' total touchdowns.
I expect this to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say Auburn wins this game 20-3, and I'm going to say the turnovers.
You think Auburn beats them by 17?
20-3. Is
Okay.
that 17? Yes, I think they beat them by 17.
I went to Jacksonville State, but that was 17 there. I don't know about Montevallo.
20-3.
That's wild.
Well, I still do have the cat.
Yeah.
Well,
Upset
that
alert
was-
yesterday.
Yeah.
I just don't think Kentucky scores. Maybe a field goal. But I'm going to say turnovers.
Yeah.
I think Ashton and/or Jackson has 1 or 2. I think Kentucky has 1 or 2.
Well, I mean, Auburn's defense hadn't gotten lit up. I don't think Cutter Boley is going to be the guy that
You would
lights
not
them
think,
up.
would you? Kentucky is one of the worst in the league in terms of turnover margin, and Auburn's one of the best. Auburn's really, they haven't turned it over much. I mean, the 2 interceptions by Jackson Arnold, now they've come up late, and they've both been terrible. One led 2 points, and one was actually 6 points. But that's the only 2 interceptions Auburn's thrown. They've only fumbled twice. So I'm actually going to say Ashton Daniels total points over turnovers. I just don't think Auburn will turn it over a lot in this game.
And that's why I think it doesn't matter who starts at quarterback in this game. I just think Kentucky's offense, no need to, they don't even need to travel.
I think
they're not going to be able to score.
Well,
I
again, I had to play a double-digit dog to win the game outright, and it was the Ashton Daniels factor. I did ask Forrester, very, very optimistic. I was like, so you don't think they can lose with Ashton Daniels? And he's like, nope.
I don't think so either. I'm with you, Forrester.
Is that an Ashton Daniels? That's more defense than Ashton Daniels.
No, I think it's got to be more Kentucky than anything.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with the opponent.
Yes, okay, that's
Kansas
fair, Scott.
Is Kansas State an underdog this weekend?
Yes, yes. I was going to take them. They're 7.5
you can
points.
purple that up. It's the old school.
Purple that up.
You just put K-State in there. And I think you have a better play.
Purple that up.
We'll see.
20-3. That is.
I mean, Ashton Daniels gets to think about all week he's starting this game.
Technically, I don't think he knows yet, but maybe he does.
Oh, I bet he does.
Oh, I think it's a done deal.
20-3. I mean, that's an impressive Auburn win, actually, to beat somebody by 17 in conference. I mean, they're 1-4 in conference. To beat a conference team by 17.
Yeah. I can't remember the name, but the score. But my first ever professional game to cover as a professional was Kentucky at Auburn.
What year was
Harris
that?
Stadium. Would have been 1988. I think. Maybe week 1, week 2.
Is that the year Kentucky went up early?
Wow,
Yeah,
88.
Was it 20-10?
Jim, it was 20-10.
20-10.
You know, that game was on TBS, that old school Bob Neal, Tim Foley. You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. Was that week 1 or week 2?
It was week 1. Auburn was number 7. They played Kentucky.
Did Kentucky go up early, though?
Oh, I don't know. I just got the score. But here's what you forget these days. You remember Auburn was on quarter system back then, and it's before students were there. 67,000 people at Jordan-Hare for that game.
Yep.
But you remember those early season Auburn games, the first month of the season, they'd barely have students there because they were on quarter systems. And it was always a big story, like if they had a big game there early. Now remember, Auburn students, they normally sit right here, Dave, but they're not going to be here. Auburn's on quarter system.
Like I threw Dave in there.
There was a chance Dave was the guy on the sideline.
They actually would have boys clubs and girls clubs from Montgomery and the surrounding areas. High school band played. In that situation, Auburn's band wasn't even at the games usually, so it was a different time back then.
Yeah,
and they finally got rid of the scoreboard that was there.
Still there.
But that was
that
cool.
Scoreboard showed Auburn 20, Kentucky 10 back in 1988.
A lot like that game. This time. All right, second down.
Second down.
Which 2-touchdown favorite has a better chance of losing on Saturday? Miami at SMU or Ole Miss at home to South Carolina?
Miami at SMU or who?
Ole Miss at home to South Carolina.
I think, well, if we're going by tradition.
Both?
I thought you were getting a prop.
There's a little trend going right now that my whacked out Wednesday, we'll do everybody else's whacked out Wednesday. But I've lost. I mean, I should do my upset alert. I should go ahead and come up on Tuesday who I think my whacked out Wednesday is going to be, because the team I have had winning whacked out Wednesday,
they lose the game outright.
They've lost outright 3 weeks in a row.
Three straight, huh?
Yeah, and I think Miami whacks out SMU.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a better chance of Ole Miss losing at home.
I had the U.
But if you go by my tradition, Miami is going to.
I kind of like that U. I know you just kind of scribbled it on there, but if you put that on a T-shirt, that's a pretty good look. I like that.
I've got a weird feeling. I don't have a weird feeling about South Carolina over Ole Miss. Lane cannot lose one of these games. I do have a weird feeling.
He's not distracted at all.
Really.
About SMU over Miami.
I feel like South Carolina, all the chips were in Saturday, and that team's spent. That's my feel on South Carolina going on the road. Yeah. SMU coming off a loss at Wake. I kind of like them better in this situation. I think I'd say SMU.
I would say that Brian Thomas and company on the edges, Dylan Stewart, Brian Thomas, what they can do maybe to control Trinidad from running, Kejuan Lacey from running, and then with Nick Harbor and Lenore Sellers, anything can happen. I wrote down what's wrong with SMU. So you tell me.
I don't think they've got the pass rush they had last year. I don't know because they were pretty dominant last year, actually.
Yeah, didn't they lose to Wake this past weekend?
Oh, yeah.
13-12.
But you know, Kevin Jennings,
Connor Calvert with a 50-yard field goal.
Kevin Jennings, their quarterback, second in the league in passing.
He
I mean,
been
it's
bad.
not like he's playing bad. Normally, you would just look at quarterback play, but he's not bad.
I wrote down here 5 turnovers. Did SMU have 5 turnovers in that game?
I think they did.
I can look at that.
Yeah,
it's 13-4. It was 14-13, right? Wake won, I believe.
13-12.
13-12, something like that. Yeah.
And is Wake
not a fun game.
Wake 5-2?
I do believe they are.
I think they're 4-3.
Okay,
4-3?
I've not got anything right to say with it.
Yeah. Anyway, I wrote down what's wrong with SMU. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
What's wrong with SMU? They're never on my TV, so I can't tell you. I've got no idea.
Third down.
You got to be familiar with the CW to watch some SMU football. You need to know where you find CW.
Yep. And now you got to remember TNT this week for Arizona State, Iowa State.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss, 78 years old today. If I asked you better career, Richard Dreyfuss or Rick Pitino?
So Dreyfuss, most known for...
Probably for Jaws, but it's been nominated for multiple Academy Awards. Goodbye Girls winning 1 Academy Award.
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. That was right after...
What about Bob with Bill Murray?
Close Encounters, where they had to play the notes exactly right to open up the...
Yeah, a lot of it was filmed in Alabama.
Yeah.
a Spielberg film back in 1977.
Did you ever see Mr. Holland's Opus?
No, I didn't, but he
that's a good flick.
A lot of people, he was the favorite, I think, to win the Academy Award. He was nominated for Best Actor, but he didn't win it that year.
Kind of a sad movie, but he's good in it.
He's also in Stand By Me.
Okay.
Close
He's the
Encounters.
older version of the main character.
Yeah.
Close Encounters followed Star Wars up, or was it before Star Wars? It was sort of all at the same time,
It was
right?
same year.
Same year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
1977, I think.
So we were in love with space movies. Then,
I'll tell you, he did it was pretty cheesy, but he played Bernie Madoff, and Dreyfuss played a really good Bernie Madoff.
Did he really? Because I have seen. It's amazing. There's this many Bernie Madoffs. Because I saw
Al Pacino?
De Niro.
Was it De
De
Niro?
Niro? I think played him. Yeah.
No, Richard Dreyfuss is fantastic. Rick Pitino, pound for pound, maybe the best basketball coach of all
I
time.
think I would go Patino.
I think I would too.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of baggage there, but it doesn't matter where he goes.
Where has
he
he not
wins.
won big?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even Iona, he took him to the tournament. I mean, where has the guy not won big?
They could win the national championship this year.
Very much so. Yeah.
They're starting preseason top 5 when basketball starts Monday night.
I mean, it's like anywhere you drop this guy, he wins.
Yeah.
And it's not always been great jobs.
Love Dreyfuss, but
Yeah.
I'd go Pitino.
4th down.
Bob Ross would have been 83 years old.
AI is doing wonders for Bob Ross, by the way.
Why is he the guy that's on there so much?
Because it's easy to do.
Oh, is it?
Bob Ross is painting like an Alabama win, 29-22.
It's pretty funny.
That,
They're funny.
Yeah, I was going to really disrespect the General Bob Knight and ask Bob Ross or Bob Knight. I can't do it to Bobby Knight. I'm going to go Bob Ross or Bobby Ross. Former coach that had the Chargers in the Super Bowl.
Won a national
Tech.
championship in Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Bob Ross is iconic.
I think I would go Bob Ross.
We had to think for a second on who Bobby Ross was.
Yeah.
Bob Ross is iconic.
But Bob Knight would have been too easy, right? As much as he's
it
hated.
would have been Bob Knight.
I think I'd still go Bob Knight there.
Yeah.
But Bob Ross, I would say Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross have the two most watched public television shows of all time. When you think so?
I don't know how much Bob Ross was really watched. I think Bob
really?
Ross is one of those things
After he's dead.
is nobody really watched it, but it became such a cool thing to say you watched it or to have the clips. This is a Happy Clouds.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the drawings in the comic book? Like, send it, you can't draw it, but if you do this, you're going to be an art student.
Oh yeah, they're like the rain.
I do
the
remember that,
deer.
yeah.
or
Like, I
the-
think we've
I
gotten
did
pretty good
those.
at that.
Yeah.
I never even thought I could draw.
No.
I can draw half-assed
look at
now.
that, yeah.
Look at that cat. He's
Yeah.
mangled. Looks
Oh,
like hanging out in an alley for
It's
a
a
couple
mangy
of weeks.
cat. It's a mangy cat.
Wait
It looks
till
like he's about to sneeze. Like he's scrunching his nose up.
But if he bit you, you'd want to go get it checked out,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you get that.
definitely.
You
It
get that
looks
looked
dirty.
at.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go.
Do y'all
Bob Ross.
remember why I had to dress as Bob Ross when I lost that bracket challenge? Why did we pick Bob Ross?
We didn't.
You did.
You did.
Oh,
To get on
Why
TV.
did you pick Bob Ross?
that's a great question, Tyler. I didn't even remember why I got picked. And I was the one that picked it, so I have no idea.
You know, he is the youngest one on the show, but I worry sometimes about his memory the most.
I mean, so Tyler, you weren't with us then. The whole bracket bet payoff was I had to go to a Maction game and get on TV, so I had to do something to stand out. So
It's coming back to you all of a sudden.
I guess I dressed as Bob Ross to stand out. I don't know
I
why
think
Bob
you
Ross
did.
was I don't know why I picked Bob Ross.
And we had a little insight because Luganville was the analyst on the game.
Yeah,
so
that helped.
That helped tremendously.
That helped.
Right.
Yeah, so it
You
worked
just
out
have it
good.
pointed out, and then the camera's going to pan over
that's
to
it. Yeah.
I still put that top 5 greatest moment in show history. That's really, really good.
Thank you, Jim. I'm glad I could deliver.
That is 4 downs today. There's the Bob Ross picture that Brown took a selfie there back
was gold.
before he knew .5 existed. .5 probably didn't
Oh, I
exist
didn't
back
exist.
then.
That was like 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight shot.
Yeah.
That would have been Stone Ages then, way before
Oh, I know.
0.5
We-
selfies.
Yeah, we barely had phones.
I got you. I grabbed a couple screen grabs. I remember I was in the CBS 42 anchoring the news that night and recording it and getting screenshots of you popping up.
You know what I remember most about that game is, or no, not the most about the game, but the aftermath is ESPN, or one of our friends at ESPN reached out to me and said, you're going to love the TV ratings for the Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan game Wednesday night. And she sent them to me, and Birmingham was like the dominant market. Yeah. And she's like, she was aware of what we had done. And it was like Birmingham, and then all the way down, it's like Detroit. Yeah, but Birmingham was like the dominant market for that game, which just speaks so highly of our audience. But I always thought that was really cool.
Fantastic. All right. Before I give you one more Auburn note here, and again, Brooks Austin coming up to talk about the games at 10:30, including the cocktail party, Georgia and Florida, which he is very aware of. Tell us about Inverness Country Club, LT.
Inverness Country Club, a great place to find your sense of community. They've got memberships that fit absolutely everyone at the Inverness Country Club, the golf membership, the social membership. To take a tour of this club today, all you got to do is call Aaron. Tell her the next round sent you, 205-991-8608. You can also go online, iccalabama.com. Maybe you've relocated or retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Do you know you don't actually have to be a member in order to hold an event in Inverness? Inverness can hold anything between golf tournaments to corporate meetings to wedding receptions, anything in between. Again, take a tour today. Call Erin. Ask her about all of the different events that you can actually hold at Inverness Country Club. 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
Ashton, this will be the first time we've ever played an Ashton Daniels soundbite, I believe, Forrester, on the history of the next round. Is this correct?
I believe that is accurate.
Wait a minute. When Stanford had a big game with him starting, we never played one?
I don't think we've ever had an Ashton Daniels soundbite, but it looks like he's going to be the starting quarterback this week for Auburn as they host Kentucky. Here's Ashton Daniels after practice getting asked about the quarterback competition this week.
How are you and Jackson sort of handling the competition this week and not really knowing exactly who's going to be the starter, or maybe you already do?
No, just coming out here and competing every single day, just pushing each other to be better. Iron always sharpens iron, and at the end of the day, whoever's playing on Saturday is going to be prepared to go in and get a win for us.
Yeah. I wish you'd have said it. I think Jackson's doing a great job of supporting me as I do this. But here, go ahead.
Well, I was just borderline stunned if he doesn't start. I mean, stunned, too strong of a word?
Stunned's strong, but
okay.
I'd be surprised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that Arnold did lead Auburn to their only touchdown drive this past weekend. He had a touchdown and a pick six. So responsible for 2 touchdowns, one in each direction.
We really don't know what he would have done. I mean, look, the defense, opportunistic. Look, they actually saved that game and won that game, and he wasn't he didn't make any mistakes, but we don't know what he was going to do.
70-some-odd yards.
Ashton Daniels led him to 5 field goals.
That's right.
So it's a tough choice.
Well, that's enough to beat Kentucky.
Yeah.
5 field goals.
20-3.
Yeah.
But where we are with Hugh Freeze, if he loses another conference game, I said this on Monday, he becomes the first Auburn coach to not have a winning record in conference play. A losing record in conference play for 3 straight seasons. And that's one more loss will do that. If he wins out, he's 4-4, and he breaks this streak. We forget, though, how bad Pat Dye was at the end. His last 2 seasons as Auburn coach, Pat Dye was 2-5 and 2-5-1 in the SEC. That's Pat Dye filled, and the only reason he wasn't the coach in '93 was because of the NCAA Eric Ramsey situation. But you got to go back to Earl Brown, who coached the team when they had a losing record for 3 straight years in SEC play. Ralph Jordan was hired right after that, and Auburn got better. But Earl Brown was wrapping up a streak from 1953 back until the end of World War II, where Auburn had a losing record in the SEC. 1944 to 1953, Auburn did not have a winning record in the SEC.
And that old boy coached every one of those?
No, Earl only coached the last 3.
I was about to say, God, they were patient with that
it's
guy.
Just amazing.
They had other guys, but
Okay.
there was a decade there where Auburn had a losing record every year in SEC play.
It's just amazing he's creeping them up on that historically.
Yeah.
And just especially where some of these other programs are. Like if you're an Auburn fan, you look at Ole Miss and you're like, how in the hell is this going on?
Yeah, with a guy that some people wanted you to hire.
Texas A&M, how is this going on?
The last winning record in the SEC for Auburn was Gus Malzahn in 2020 when they were 6-4 in a all-SEC schedule.
Yeah.
Do you know how tough an all-SEC schedule was? And he was 6-4 in it and got fired.
Well, he was gifted a game too, the Arkansas game. Remember when Bo spiked it?
Yeah.
Behind the line?
So, all right. So 5-5.
Should have been 5.
But at least it's not a losing record. I mean, that's crazy, and he got fired for that. And Auburn got on, the coaching carousel there, and maybe it was time. I don't know, but they got on the coaching carousel, and it has continued to spin.
3-5, 2-6, 3-5, 2-6, and there's a chance this ends up being 3-5.
Or 2-6.
Or 2-6.
Yeah.
But if you're going with the sequencing,
yeah, that's
3-5,
yes,
2-6, 3-5, 2-6.
If you play the numbers.
Now, this is interesting. And again, I've got a dizzy upset alert because I need a big dog to win outright.
Or a big cat.
or a Big Cat. Do I really think this is going to happen? Probably not. But when I was talking to Forrester earlier about the Ashton Daniels situation, he's like, if they do lose, though, he's got to go.
Well,
and so, like, I think you are to a point where he might survive. But if you lose to Kentucky at home, you do have to make a move, right?
You know, again, he's lost the fan base. And I don't know how many coaches ever recover from losing the fan base, but Hugh Freeze has lost the fan base. You'd all agree with that one, right?
Yes.
He's 100% lost the fan base.
100%.
It's hard to say a coach that has recovered from that, and it generally doesn't happen. So, I mean, it's probably borrowed time anyway, but yes, if you lose to Kentucky, because I really do think, Jim, to your point, the only way Auburn loses this game to Kentucky is a complete you-know-what show on offense.
It'll look like the second half of the LSU game the other night when it looked like you were watching the program fall in.
That's right. Yeah.
In the third and fourth quarter, it looked like the stadium was falling in on Brian Kelly. That's what it would look like at Jordan-Hare on Saturday night if Kentucky beats Auburn.
Auburn's path to defeat in this game is like 3 Ashton Daniels interceptions.
Yeah.
Or 2 interceptions and a fumble, and Kentucky gets a short field and they stumble into the end zone somehow. Kentucky's like they're a high school team, but their offense is. And that's their path to victory. And if that happens, that's going to reflect even more poorly on Hugh Freeze.
Our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, before Brownie tells us about A+, I want to tell you about the great family that is the Nelson family. 10 strong, 10 great kids, headed up by Andrea and Greg Nelson. Greg from Pell City. He's so good on the roof. He's like Santa Claus. He can just jump on your roof and check things out. And if you follow Greg on social media, the Nelsons putting up their Christmas tree yesterday.
What?
Yeah, beautiful Christmas tree.
Oh, that's a bit early. It's not even Halloween. Nobody's knocked on the door for candy yet.
Yeah, they're putting up their Christmas tree yesterday because Greg's busy. He's getting on rooftops like Santa. He'll get on yours with an absolute free estimate, free with Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing. 3 ways to contact him. StormRestorationRoofing.com, the website. You can call up the phone 205-542-3531 or go onto Facebook, Greg from Pell City. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Handles storm damage, roofing replacements, and Greg has that builder's license, so he can do a lot of the repairs himself. Great relationships with the insurance agents, getting you the best results from your insurance policy. Plus, by the way, they've got financing available if you need it. Right there, Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing.
Yeah, once Greg drives that house in for you, start addressing the big needs inside, like your master bathroom, your kitchen, your master bedroom closets. That is what my guy Brad Bell specializes in. Scott will show you some before and afters at the master bath in the Brown house. When it came time to do that several years ago, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet and she found Brad Bell, and I'm glad she did. Brad did tremendous work for us. We just wanted a darker, more updated bathroom. Nothing crazy, but that was the vision Brad went with. Exactly what we wanted. His crews were courteous. They were on time, which says a lot. Every single day, they were clean. At the end of the day, they would bring us in and say, okay, here's what we've done today. Does it meet your expectations? By the way, it did every single day. That's just the type of service you get from Brad. Why I say master bath kitchen, master bedroom closets, his specialty. It's not all he does, but his specialty. Because with those, you spend a lot of time in them, and you get your money back when you go to sell your house with those. So get more from Brad. AlabamaBathroomModels.com, AlabamaBathroomModels.com, or give him a call, 205-422-1758, AlabamaBathroomModels.com, or 205-422-1758.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shannara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We'll get into the coaching carousel here in a little bit, and then back to the games on the field with Brooks Austin. This part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Company Distilling. Tell us about Company Distilling, LT. And the fire pit still working at your house?
The fire pit is working. I had it rolling really good last Friday night. I love when Ryan Kozlik comes in town, Jack's best buddy. You know, he's a freshman at Auburn, and he came, and I don't have to do any work. He did.
He fires it up for you?
He loves operating the fire, so he did that for us this past weekend. And I did have some Company Distilling next to that fire pit watching game one of the World Series where Toronto exploded for 11 runs, but had some of that maple right there by the fire. Company Distilling is absolutely fantastic. If you're a bourbon fan, you need to try one that is good as the company you keep. Find a bottle, learn more. CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. The man behind the bottle, Jeff Arnett, the master distiller at Company Distilling, former master distiller at Jack Daniels. They've also got 3 must-visit locations across Tennessee: Townsend, Lynchburg, Thompson Station. Whether you're on a weekend getaway or planning a whiskey road trip, one of these destinations should be on your must-visit list. Perfect stops for fall travelers. Check out the website for all of the information, companydistilling.com.
So Ryan is the guy that works your fire pit when he comes in. Who was the guy that used to do the grill for you? When there used to be somebody that anytime they were over, they'd cook for you.
Jimmy Anthony.
Jimmy Anthony on the grill.
Yeah.
I remember that being at Lance's house, and Jimmy comes in with a tray of food. It's like, oh, Jimmy's here. I didn't know he was here. He's out running the grill.
I don't like doing that stuff. I don't.
I mean, why do it when you have somebody else to do it for you?
I got a Blackstone, and I literally have used it 3 times in 2 years.
I've never gotten on the Blackstone.
Well, the smash burgers are so good.
People
because,
swear by them.
Yeah, like you can go to New York Butcher Shop and get them already, they're prepared in the ball, and all you got to do is smash them out. And it's fantastic. But then you got to clean it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Does somebody do it for you, or you just haven't used it that many times?
No, I've done it every time. I don't want to do it because I guess I don't have the go-to cook anymore.
A lot of people do breakfast on them, and then I've seen people do like Japanese steakhouse on them.
Hibachi.
Yep.
Hibachi, yeah.
My friend Rosie and Cody down in Montgomery, they do the Japanese, whatever it's called. What's the word again? Hibachi?
Hibachi.
Yeah. With a fried rice, and they don't do the volcano.
I was going to say, does he do the Andy volcano?
I didn't see that on their socials.
Yeah,
does he make the fried rice into the shape of a heart?
A lot of people hire those
he's an
hibachi
offensive
chefs.
coordinator. I bet he could do it. Yeah.
They hire hibachi chefs to come in because I've seen a lot of these.
Oh, I've seen that recently. Yeah.
And I mean, that would be fun if you had like the right setup and backyard, and you could bring one of these guys in. I don't know how much that would cost.
If you get a good hibachi chef that's into it in the restaurant and is not just going through the motions, they're fun, man.
Oh yeah,
those guys have a great time.
Sisler and I used to go all the time. She used to love it, and we would. It was hard between 6 and 10 to go eat one of those meals and go back and anchor the 10 o'clock news.
I just want a nap after those. Well, I love Japanese steak
because I cannot not eat it. I mean, I eat it all. Every piece of rice, every piece of chicken, shrimp, beef. Love them. I steal other people's salads with that great salad on it. It's fantastic.
That yum sauce is a problem for me. I always just pour it all over the rice and everything like that.
See, and that gets me like something heavy. If it's got a great taste, I'll keep pounding. I told you guys I went to a place yesterday and they specialize in Detroit-style pizza. I don't know if you guys like Detroit-style pizza, but it's so thick, but the flavor was so freaking good.
And that's with the wet sauce on top, right?
Well, so they've got the big thing of marinara, so you can pour it across, but it's the really thick. I don't even know how to describe the bread.
Is there marinara
square pizza too, right?
Yeah. Is there marinara under the toppings as well, or is the only marinara on top?
It's a good question because the 2 variations I got didn't have any marinara on them, so I don't know if they come with it or not. But anyway, it was just so freaking good. I ate 3 of those pieces and felt absolutely awful the rest of the night.
Lance, don't they put the cheese all the way to the crust and it caramelizes it?
Sure does. The best part's crust.
Yep. And then you pour the red sauce on top.
Yeah.
I think
Or dip in the red sauce.
Yeah. Or dip it, I guess. Then it becomes just cheesy bread at that point.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
All right, back to the coaching carousel stuff. Let's go 3, 6, and 7. Some great sound here from Forrester. Lane Kiffin first. You guys keep saying, there's no way Lane's going to lose this game to South Carolina. Well, last time Lane was in this situation where his name was absolutely being mentioned for other jobs, he did not handle it well. So Lane Kiffin was getting asked about his decision to address the rumors that he had. Remember last time it was the Auburn game. We're having a little problem over here, so we'll get to that again in a minute.
I've got something I can add to that, though, real quick, while Tyler sorts through that. Nick Saban today talks to our buddy Chris Lowe on 3 Sports with this quote about Lane Kiffin. Jobs that weren't great jobs before are now. Lane is the first name up for Florida and the first name up for LSU, but I think you can have a long debate on whether either one of those jobs is actually better than the job he has now, because he has some guys over there at Ole Miss that give him pretty much whatever he wants from a roster standpoint. Yeah. Maybe Saban
boosters, right?
Yeah, maybe Saban continues. You've got alumni who are passionate about football, but are they willing to invest what you have to invest now to win? Because a lot of people don't believe in this blank. You know what?
Yeah. Well, see, that's why Joel Klatt yesterday, if you remember, he said Ohio State and Texas, I believe, are the best jobs in college football. And then he named a couple of other jobs. And then he said, then there's a group down there where you get to your Alabamas and your Georgias and all of those. And people were like, did Klatt just put Alabama in a second tier of jobs? And he even said, traditionally, no. The history, no. But with the commitment to spend money on rosters and players and things like that, NIL and all that. Where does Alabama and Georgia fit in? To Klatt's point, he had LSU a better job than Alabama
Nick Saban
and Georgia.
doesn't. Nick Saban is literally saying, I mean, you got to read between the lines because he doesn't say this about LSU, but he essentially says in this quote to Chris Lowe, LSU's got alumni that are passionate about football, but are they willing to invest?
Yeah.
And Ole Miss has that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what
maybe
Saban's
he's
saying.
trying to. I mean, look, Kiffin and Saban worked closely together. It was a disaster at the end of that marriage.
Same agent.
I do think Kiffin is matured a lot as a head coach and probably doesn't have some of the baggage that he had in the past. But could Saban be maybe saving some of his LSU friends from Kiffin taking that job?
It's an interesting quote because Saban is intimately familiar with LSU. I mean, we would all say that. And, I mean, here's Nick Saban telling Chris Lowe, he's got a great setup at Ole Miss where he gets anything he wants, and then Saban intimates, but he wouldn't get that at LSU. So maybe Ole Miss is actually a better job because of that.
I don't ever see, and I could be completely wrong, it could happen this year. I don't see Lane Kiffin winning a national championship at Ole Miss. I could see him win one at LSU.
I just think, and I'm kind of with you, but I just think we got to change our thinking. Like, I never saw Indiana go into the playoffs back-to-back years, but here we are.
Yeah.
And I know there's a big step from going to the playoffs and winning a national championship, but we're in a different world in college football right now.
But it is all about the money you have at your fingertips.
That's right.
Lane Kiffin, thank you for working so hard for that. Tyler and Forster and Brooks, whoever is back there helping. Lane Kiffin getting asked at his news conference this week to talk about the rumors with his name, how he addressed it with his team before Oklahoma, as reported on by Molly McGrath, and how he handled the Auburn situation in 2022. Here's Lane Kiffin.
Lane, looking back, the 2022 season and then, of course, the 25 season, you made mention to Molly McGrath on ESPN about how you decided to talk to the team, whereas in 22 you didn't. Could you just talk a little bit about your relationship with Keith Carter and Dr. Boyce and how things have changed over the last couple of years?
Yeah. I kind of look back on that. I never just say, oh, well, this is how it is and these things happen. I'm always trying to learn from, like in this last win. I don't like when we got to 2nd and 2 what we did, at the end of the game, instead of, so just I always look at no matter what, how to try to do something better. And I thought, looking back at that, because we had, you didn't have as many portal guys back then, and you had guys that had been here a number of years with us. I thought that, the Auburn thing maybe had weighed on them, and maybe that had to do with, how we played in that Egg Bowl, and so I just have said, hey, learn from that and make sure that you address it. Then this year, I really didn't think that it needed to be done, or last year because we had so many guys that had been here and been through it. But then I was thinking, well, maybe with so many new players, just to address it and just explain to them that's what happens. That's a product of them playing really well. When players play really well and assistant coaches do really well, then these other fan bases want the head coach. And so that's just a product of our guys doing really well. And then the second part of it, Dr. Boyce and Keith have been amazing. They've done everything that they can to help us win, and I've been very appreciative of them as my two bosses, and also as friends. Just going through things over time here, and Knox moving, and they've been amazing people for me to be around, and I consider them both really good friends.
Now you hear that? It's you can make a case that he's not leaving.
Yeah, but last time this was a situation, he was complaining about the roof leaking and the stuff they can't get.
Much better spot right now. Self-tan, or you think he tans?
I think he tans. Got to look good, man.
Yeah, I mean it's one of the two for sure. But he could easily shut this thing down. He could say, look, there's no chance I'm going anywhere. And people that would say, well, you're going to lose your leverage with Ole Miss, not necessarily. You tell administration, hey, look, they're offering this. Like, I got to do what's best for my family. You're still going to get paid.
I've got a list of coaches I wanted to ask you guys who gets, because Cignetti's already had it announced, who gets a new contract announced first of these guys, all right, at their current school. And Kiffin was one. I'm going to read them all out, and then you tell me in the order you think they get. All right. Okay, Kiffin, Clark Lee, Brent Key, Mike Elko, Dan Lanning.
I think Kiffin is going to be dead last among those because
Lanning.
I still think I still think it'll be Kiffin. I think Kiffin's going to have to ride this for a long time. This is going to get super uncomfortable for him and for LSU. But I think Kiffin's going to have to ride this quite a while.
I think Elko's going to be first.
And why has he got to ride it if it's an extension, if he keeps the contract? If they
I think to get the most out of the extension, Ole Miss is going to have to believe he's leaving. And at some point, if Jimmy Sexton knocks on the door today and says, hey, we're ready to sign a contract, they're going to be like, well, this guy's got no intention to go to Ole Miss. If you really want to maximize it and be the highest paid coach in football, there's going to have to be the pain of Ole Miss thinking we're going to lose this guy if we don't give him what Jimmy Sexton is knocking on the door asking for right now.
Then why did Indiana do it?
Because they didn't fear losing Cignetti as much as Ole Miss fears losing Lane Kiffin. And on top of that, Cignetti was also willing, if you'll remember, and I guarantee you Kiffin does not do this, Cignetti agreed to a massive buyout if he leaves for another job. Massive in terms of what you normally have to buy a coach out for. So he showed commitment back to the university.
See, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing it right now because they got to buy, they go to Missouri.
Elko?
Yeah, I could see that be announced before they play their next game.
But there's also not a huge threat to him leaving. Penn State, people say Penn State, I know, but if I'm Texas A&M, I'm like, is this guy going to leave what he's got here?
I wouldn't risk it. I mean, you finally have it dialed in. You paid a shit ton of money to get rid of Jimbo to bring in what you viewed as the right guy, and in year 2, it looks like he's the right guy, so lock him in.
Yeah, I fear if I'm the AD at Texas A&M, I'm a lot less fearful of Elko going to Penn State than if I'm Keith Carter at Ole Miss of Lane taking one of these 2 jobs, LSU or Florida.
Yeah, which is why they would work on a massive deal for him right now and run and approach it right now.
You would hope.
To make it.
Yeah, you would hope.
Which is why it would move Kiffin up more if he's staying.
I think
going sooner.
Clark Lee and Brent Key, you can have honest conversations like you played here. I know you love this program. What's it going to take for us to lock you in? You're probably already having those. But if you're Lee and Key, this is the first time you've really been pursued.
Yeah.
So you probably want to be courted a little bit and see what this thing plays out like.
But if they're able to work a good deal for you, isn't it a wonderful time at Vandy and Georgia Tech if it is a fair deal for what you think you're worth for to go ahead and make that announcement while we're riding high, and it helps you in recruiting and everything else to be like,
I tell you what I would do.
And I'm not going anywhere, guys. Vandy's going to keep rolling.
I'll tell you what I would do if I was Clark Lee, seriously, because I do think if they win, I think they're in. I think there's a good chance they lose to Tennessee, but I still think at 10-2 they're getting in. Clark Lee could roll in there before this game and pregame and say, I'm a Vanderbilt Commodore for life or whatever. And it could, I know it sounds cheesy, but one of those galvanizing moments as you roll onto the field against Texas and, for 60 minutes, they just play their asses off.
Hey, if I'm Clark Lee, Brent Key, if they get close to what I think is fair market value, I sign it quick because I haven't seen Brent Key yet without Haynes King. I haven't seen Clark Lee yet without Diego Pau.
Yeah.
And both those guys are pretty important to what
they're different for Lane.
I mean, arguably the best quarterbacks, either one of those programs, and Georgia Tech, you'd have to pause for a minute, but I don't think it's out of the realm of. I don't think it's overstating saying those are the best in history.
The best quarterback at each school? Joe Hamilton, maybe at Georgia Tech? Is that who it's considered?
He never
really won anything. Who was their quarterback on the championship team? I can't even remember.
I don't know. Sean.
It wasn't Sean King. No, Sean King was at Tulane.
Sean Murphy?
Sean Moore, maybe? No, that was Virginia.
That was Virginia that same year, oddly. But if I'm Lane Kiffin, I want to go to the Lane Kiffin side of this, too. If you're Lane Kiffin, do you have to stop and think this might be the best chance I ever get? There's no guarantee he's ever got a shot at a job as good as LSU again. And it's the biggest job he's ever had a shot at. I know he's been the coach at USC and the Oakland Raiders back in the day, but this is it. I mean, this is the biggest opportunity he's ever had if LSU really wants him. And
remember, this all started with the Florida job, which he has family ties to in that area and everything. So I even have the Florida job a little ahead of the LSU job.
You do?
Okay. In Lane's head.
Okay, I got you.
In Lane's head.
Yeah. But so to that point, I mean, if you're Lane, you've got to sit here and think probably the only jobs I would consider that are on this level would be Alabama or Texas. And the how remote is the possibility that Sark is out of Texas or DeBoer is out of Alabama, and at the same time I'm still coaching and a viable candidate for those jobs? I mean, You got to think about stuff like
Yeah,
this.
and I've heard, and I'm sure Lane knows this, that he's never getting the Alabama job. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
I have,
At least
yes.
with certain people still
I will
involved.
say this, though, Lance. A lot of the people that were hesitant to that are slowly getting weeded out of this program.
Once you get them out of that cycle.
Yeah.
Here's the thing Lane's got to look at, too, because we talk about the government's involvement with this LSU job. I think Ole Miss learned their lesson, and I could be wrong, when they fired David Cutcliffe. David Cutcliffe was winning 7 or 8 games, and at that point, that was pretty damn good for Ole Miss. And then they fired, and then they had to deal with the Ed Orgeron and the Matt Luke and all those different situations. Now that they've got their guy, if Kiffin shows them loyalty again, I think there would be loyalty on that side. I think he gets more of a leash if he stays in Oxford.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. These guys are my friends now, the president and the athletic director. My son's playing high school football in the area. My daughter's wrapping up school. My wife's living with us in the area now.
But you could shut that door.
Yeah, but I think I guess what I'm trying to say about the LSU possibility is you're almost saying this is it for me. This is my last stop. I mean, this deal that he's about to do right here, if he stays at Ole Miss, you're almost saying
it's a pretty damn good last stop.
It is, but you're almost saying this is how I end my career. I'm the head coach at Ole Miss, and I mean, that can be tough to wrap your arms around, or it could be, I mean, if he really does love it there, maybe you're like, why would I want to end my career anywhere else?
Our friends at Bojangles bringing you part of the show. Before Brownie tells us about that, our friends at Sleep Home Alabama, CPAP Plus LT.
Hey, look, if you are tired each and every morning, you're not getting the proper sleep, it is really, really bad for your health. You need to get that quality 8 hours. You need to get the sleep study done. You don't want to deal with the lab. You don't want to deal with the insurance. Guess what? You got our friend CPAP Plus, Woody, Joe O'Neill, great guys. 5 locations, Birmingham, Trustful, Pelham, Foley, Troy. Here's the way it works. So you don't want to deal with the lab or the insurance. No lab, no insurance, just easy to wear fingertip devices, clinically validated that connect to your smartphone, complete with the physician's interpretation of your results. Only $199. It's Alabama's best home sleep testing and CPAP. They'll send it to your door. For more information, sleephomealabama.com.
And our guys at Bojangles there, ready for lunch and for dinner. Pelham, Alabama. You got that brand new location on Pelham Parkway. There's a Bojangles near you. Make it bow time for lunch today with those hand-breaded chicken tenders and the great sauces that go with it. All the wonderful sides. You can enjoy it at lunch, at dinner, for your tailgates, your college football watch parties. All right there at your local Bojangles. Hand-breaded tenders with the great sauces, everything from sweet to heat. You can make it bow time.
John Sumrall, friend of the show, a head coach at Tulane, plays tomorrow night in San Antone against UTSA, 6:30 ESPN. Yesterday after practice, he gets asked about being linked to the LSU job.
John, I might as well get the elephant in the room out of the way.
What's the elephant in the room?
Could you
I'm
talk
kidding.
LSU's vacancy and you being linked to it for
yeah. I'll say this, and Jeff, I love you. I love all y'all for being here. Y'all cover our program. I'm grateful for it. You got a job to do. You got to ask that question. I got a job to do. It's to coach the Tulane football team. I've dealt with it every year as a head coach. I understand it comes with the territory. I get those questions because we're having success. That's about our players. And the coaching carousel to me is not even a thought because we're in the mid-season phase. So whatever somebody else wants to do, another program wants to do, what people want to speculate, they're free to do that. UTSA has my 100% focus. Our team playing the best it can has my 100% focus. We haven't played our best yet. I'm a little bit urgent and nauseous and fear complacency because we haven't played very good yet. And so whatever's going out there in that world, that's great for people to speculate. Man, just like you got a job to do, you got to ask me that question. I got a job to do. It's to coach this football team.
Well, that's a well answered question.
It is, but, and look, I don't think this is going to happen to him, but who he plays tomorrow night is Jeff Traylor in UTSA. And when they made the transition from CUSA to the American, the win started to drop off. He was winning double-digit games every year at UTSA, and the last couple of years, you don't hear his name mentioned. So my point is, you literally have to strike when the iron is hot. I know Sumrall is going to live in the moment. I know he's going to do what he can for this team to win, but this is going to be his opportunity to get a big-time job with the cycle of jobs that are opening up. I would be absolutely shocked if he's at Tulane next year.
I would too. Like if I'm Ole Miss and Lane leaves, that is my first phone call right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think the LSU job's too big for him.
No, I agree with you 100%. But I'm just saying if Lane takes LSU or Florida, if I'm Ole Miss, that is call number one right there.
All right, so we'll get to the games on the field with our man Brooks Austin, the film guy, coming up on the other side of the show, being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. LT, tell us about where you get those smash burgers on the grill you don't use.
Smash burgers, steaks, ribs, chicken, pork, any of the great meats. They chop it up fresh right there. Great staff of butchers. Original location, Caba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Also, the deli sandwiches you can pick up for lunch or dinner. Fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. One-stop dinner shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Get in, see Jim and that great staff. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
And if you've ever done any banking, you know the importance of knowing the people you are dealing with. That is a community bank, and that is Central State Bank. For more than 100 years, they have served Central Alabama with personal service, local decisions, lasting relationships. Large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. So if you're running a business, buying a dream car, just want a bank that remembers your name, it is Central State Bank, rooted in community, driven by relationships. Central State Bank, member FDIC. The film guy talks football next.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Make plans now for Saturday, November 1st, 11 to 5, supporting Greater Crestwood as they host Crest Fest in the Crestwood North neighborhood. You'll get a day full of local bands, local food trucks, and local vendors. And all the money raised will go to funding new swings and park renovations at Crestwood Park. If you want to support the local Crestwood area, there's still time to sign up to be a sponsor or vendor. Visit CrestFestBHM.com to learn more. CrestFestBHM.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
We'll get to the film guy who is rocking Boone, North Carolina today. But I'll tell you, as you get ready for a great football weekend again, or maybe Game 5 of the World Series, Walk-Ons is there for you. It's great for the game day, whether it's post-win celebrations with you and the boys for drinks, or if it's drinks after work, or if it's taking the fam out for a dinner tonight. Walk-Ons is your go-to place for the good times and wall-to-wall TVs, the cocktails, the bold flavors, and those Hall of Fame level burgers. Stop by today or order online at the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro, Trustful, Greystone, and Stadium Trace. It's game on at Walk-Ons.
Brooks Austin is the film guy at Brooks Austin BA. Is where you follow him on social media, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. Welcome in, Brooks. How are you, my man?
I'm doing well, boys. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. I don't have to ask. Brooks, who do you think is the best quarterback in the nation? Because you just released your ranking of the best quarterbacks in the nation, and he plays right here in our fine state. Why is Ty Simpson the best quarterback in the nation, according to Brooks Austin, the film guy?
Oh, the criticals. I've been hammering this one since he came to Athens and went 9 for his first 9 on third down. This game of football is won off Jimmy's and Joe's and the critical downs and moments of the football game. That's it. And there's a lot of Jimmy and Joe's in this conference, which means there's a lot of tight football games, which means there's a lot of opportunities to win or lose them on the criticals, right? Third downs, fourth downs, red zone possessions, goal line situations. Y'all are great in the criticals. I've been hammering this one literally since the Georgia game because I talked all offseason about parity. We all have. It's not my take. It's everybody's take. Look at the roster dispersions. Look at the talent dispersions. Look at how many good teams have good rosters, right? It's going to be one-score football, particularly in this conference, right? So which team, and particularly which quarterback, is great in those moments? That kid is. That kid is the best in those moments, in those types of football games. And by the way, that's what the next level is as well. The next level is all, hey, how can we find a way today to make sure we're winning on 3rd and 6? And then when we win enough of those 3rd and 6s, man, how do we punch it in the box when we get in first and goal situations? They're great at those. He's great at those. He had an uncharacteristic football game this last week with regards to some misses. But man, that's a guy that is an elite football playing quarterback right about now.
Well, I'm glad you brought up 3rd and 6 because Alabama fans find themselves in 3rd and 6 because they can't run the football. So while you're breaking down this film and you're telling us that Ty Simpson is maybe the best quarterback, most efficient quarterback in college football, what are you seeing from Daniel Hill and Jam Miller and, all of the backs there and what that offensive line maybe they're not doing, creating gaps?
So first and foremost, when I look at them and I look at like modern offensive football, we're all chasing efficiencies, right? Analytics has created this real lean on trying to create efficient offense, right? Trying to live in 2nd and 3 so we can get chunk plays. And if we don't get the chunk play, we'll get into 3rd and 3 because we threw an incompletion. But what you'll see from Alabama's play calling unit is they get heavily tilted towards the passing department because the most efficient thing for them right now is to 5-yard hitch their way down the field because they can't 5-yard run their way down the field, right? So you'll see this heavy tilt and play call, and you'll see 45 dropbacks sometimes and 23 runs. Well, because the first 16 runs were inefficient run attempts. They weren't great at them. What I see from them individually, like talent-wise, right? You talked about the running back room. I'll get to them in a second. If I were your offensive coordinator, if I were Ryan Grubb in this staff, whoever your run game coordinator is needs to go into it's usually your offensive line coach, needs to go in and say, hey, coach, when I'm doing grade outs, 72 and 74 win 95% of their rundown reps. That's my opinion, by the way. When I watch them, I think Parker Brailsford and Caden Proctor are great, like really, really good high-end players in the run game individually. When they lose reps, it's because 71 got beaten a one-on-one. He's great when he gets to get paired up with 74. But is that because 74 is great in the run game or Cam Dewberry's great in the run game? You see what I'm saying? And I see the right guard, right tackle getting beat. late in that fourth quarter against South Carolina, they're closing the game with 74 is going to win and move his man, and 72, the center, Brailsford is a great athlete, so we're going to get him out in space, right? So those were the two styles of runs that they really closed that game with against South Carolina, and it was efficient. They need to lean on that consistently. Now, you asked me about the backs, and I don't mean to be long-winded here, but I think they're using number 4 in such a unique way that tells me they think he's a super freak. That kid is 6'2.5", 245 pounds, but they use him like a gadget, juicy back. They use him in wide stretch zone runs. They use him in outside the box runs, C-gap and beyond runs. They use him in the passing department. They use him in the screen game. They think that guy's a freak. So he's going to grow. He's going to continue to grow. I always say how your coordinator uses you is what your team thinks you are as a skill set. And they are using that guy like he's 5'11", 185 pounds, and he ain't. He might be the biggest ball carrier in the conference right now.
For those that don't keep up with number 4 is Daniel Hill there, and that's who he's talking about. Had 3 runs and 4 catches in this past game against South Carolina. I see on my socials that Grubb and Sheridan are hanging out with John Gruden this week earlier, talking ball and talking schemes and things like you do, Brooks. When you look at the creativity of what Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer, and Sheridan are putting on tape, just talk to me. I would imagine this is like football porn to you when you watch offensive film. So when you're right there on when we call it Grubhub, when you're right there on Grubhub, how does that look offensively for you?
I'm trying to run down. I don't mean to laugh, but that is hysterical. I'm trying to run down Dan Orlovsky's tweets. Apparently, he's a whole hell of a lot more active on social media than I thought of. He had a great tweet the other day about NFL coordinators. Here it is. If you're not doing these things, friend of the show, Dan Orlovsky, if you're not doing these things schematically from an offensive perspective in the NFL right now, I believe you are scheme deficient. Consistently playing with the quarterback under the center, Alabama does that. Utilizes multiple tight ends, Alabama does that. Utilizes 6 offensive linemen, Alabama does that. Now, they play 6, but they don't play 6 at a time unless they got the crispy package in that. But y'all do that. Get into 4x1 formations. That's FIB is what we call that, formation into the boundary. Everybody in college football is doing that, but you do that. And use play action on early downs. That's what y'all do. Ryan Grubb spent a year getting his brains beat in the NFL, watching how everybody else wins, brought it back to this league is what I see. That's what I see from this unit. And, of course, he's studying with Gruden, but, I mean, Gruden's centrally located in Florida. I think they're probably doing some recruiting on the bye week. Don't get caught up in the dropping a package off to Gruden, even though I'm sure they are learning and talking some ball.
Brooks Austin, BA on social media, the Film Guy Network on YouTube. That's where you find Brooks' work. You guys love it so much. Continue to support him. Give him a thumbs up, subscribe, set your alerts so you know when he drops some videos there. He's with us on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline. If you're Mark Stoops and staff, and you're facing Ashton Daniels, who I think you'll face, but it hasn't been announced yet. Ashton Daniels in his first start at Auburn. Do you just try, like, this guy's head's already spinning, we're just going to throw him a bunch of stuff? Do you play it safe, see what he does, because you don't have a lot of Auburn film on him? How do you approach that if you're Mark Stoops and it's Ashton Daniels?
Well, I mean, we've cycled through like 16 quarterbacks over 13 years with Hugh Freeze. It's been the same identity since 2013, so I don't think you got to like worry about getting reinvented of a wheel. They'll run Hugh Freeze offense. They'll run Auburn offense. Yeah, like you have to study a different player, but even this guy's like skill set identification processes in the recruiting worlds are the same. Like all of his quarterbacks are relatively similar. They all have similar skill sets. He wants them to be, really quick releases. He wants them to be able to run the football. He wants them to be able to throw a slant really, really well and throw a deep ball well off the RPO game. Like they're all like prepare for the offense. Don't worry about the player all that much. Now on third down, we got to worry about the player and maybe we go scout some Stanford stuff. But look, that's what a good coordinator would do with Ashton. If I were like throwing this kid into the mix as a coordinator, we'd sit in on Sunday and Monday and we say, hey son, what makes you comfortable? But I don't think that's what Auburn does. I don't think that's what Hugh Freeze does. I think Auburn and Hugh Freeze say, hey, you're going to do what we do, son, and this is what we do. So prepare for what they do. I wouldn't be preparing for the player.
So, biggest game of the weekend, Brooks, in my opinion, Vanderbilt in Austin against Texas. I think Sark's probably going to wait and make it a game-time decision whether or not Arch can go. If he can't go, senior Matthew Caldwell from Jack State to Gardner-Webb to Troy to now Texas maybe gets the biggest start by far in his long, all-over-the-place career. I mean, I don't know if you've got anything on this guy. We saw one pass. It was a touchdown. But what are you seeing from Arch? We had somebody on earlier this week that said, hey, man, Texas, finally, the offense showed up. Well, they were down 38-21 in the fourth quarter, so you assume it's got to show up at some point. But where is Arch right now, and how different do you think things will be with Matthew Caldwell if he does start?
So with the Caldwell thing, we've seen two passes. We saw the fade ball off an RPO against Mississippi State to win it. We also saw in a 2-minute against Florida when Arch helmet popped off. He came in and ripped a sail like he was breathing water or breathing air. It was just like, I do this 30 yards seed. So we've seen two of them. But I think it doesn't matter what kind of thrower you are in this Texas offense right now. It's how good of an athlete you are at the quarterback position. So I don't really care how good he throws the football. He's going to have to avoid and live in hellified pockets for 4 quarters because that's what Arch had to do all season. That's what Arch has had to do. That's what Arch continues to do. And I'm not like, I don't do fandom. I don't do that. I just love good ball. And it's not a shtick. It's not a joke. It's the real thing. I study it too much. If I'm not real about it, I wouldn't be watching as much as I am. I am a fan of this kid because I'm a fan of tough competitive football players that don't finger point. They don't blame. They don't do nothing. Guys, I made this comparison last night. My producers are too young. Do y'all remember that Derrick Rose commercial where the rose pops up out of the concrete crumbles that shouldn't, like a rose just blossoms out of nowhere and it shouldn't happen? That's what happened in the third and fourth quarter of that football game. Wasn't nothing going good. Nothing around him's getting better. Offensive line's still absolute poop. Nobody's getting open. We're just having to buy time or worse, get absolutely obliterated in the midst of the pocket. But we're throwing dart after dart, seed after seed, ball after ball, just getting the offense to do something. Even the Ryan Wingo touchdown. That play is so dead. That play is so dead. It's 3rd and 10. We got average depth of concepts, 15, 20 yards downfield. We ain't been able to protect all year. And this is what coach is calling on 3rd and 10. No hots, no help, no nothing. He's buying time the entire time to his left and throws a dang 65-yard nuke. And, of course, at the end of the game, he's competing with his legs because we've asked him to damn near be willing to die from within the pocket for 8 straight games. And then he goes to compete with his legs, and I guarantee you they had the nerve to tell that kid, hey, we got to protect ourselves. We got to get down. Coach, what you mean? What you mean? That's the way I feel about that. And then the whole fan base, God forbid this Caldwell kid goes out and throws for 300 yards. There are going to be some dum-dums that go, we should start Caldwell. No, the kid just had his best game, and nothing around him got better, yet he found a way to drag them from amok.
Brooks certifying and guaranteeing his invitation to the Manning camp coming up in the summer of 2026 with that rant right there. Hey, my wife loves British television, even though she's of German descent. So we occasionally have high tea in the Dunaway household. Is that hot tea in your mug there with a little snippet of bourbon in there, or is that just water?
Snippet of bourbon.
First of all, coming up in February, sober 3 years.
How about that? Congratulations.
Good for you.
I'm straight caffeine and nicotine all day, every day.
What do you go pouches, nicotine pouches?
Yeah, we done sold this one too. I'm a Lucy Breakers guy. Shout out to him.
What milligram?
Is that an advertiser?
Is that a 6?
I'm a 4.
A 4?
Call me what you want.
No,
I'm a guy that likes to be up. I'm a guy that likes to be high on the vibes. That's where I'm at right about now.
Seriously.
It's just cup of coffee number 2 though, and it's almost noon. I don't think I'm too high on the caffeine intake.
Seriously, is that an advertiser, and can you hook somebody up here? We'll pop a pouch.
Lucy Breakers promo code FGN. 20% off.
Film Guy Network is FGN.
I like that.
As you watch, I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
I did.
Okay, go ahead. No.
Hey, I don't like haunted houses. I get scared of jump scares and stuff. So when you're going against the interim coach off a bye week like Georgia is this week, what do you expect from Florida's offense?
Rapid pace and trick plays. That's what I would expect. We just did a study. We're gonna release it here in a couple of minutes once graphics gets off their lazy behind and gets me a graphic for it. But when that gets released, you'll see that, like, dude, they got guys now. Like this Florida offense. Every time I watch them, I'm like, how in the hell are y'all bad? And then DJ Lagway throws it in the face mask of a safety, and I'm like, oh, there we go. So they move the ball. Like, for example, their last game against Mississippi State, I think they had 452 yards of total offense. But they just have these random spurts of bad. On 5 of their 11 possessions 2 weeks ago against Mississippi State, the drive ended or was turned over in 5 or fewer plays. That's not good football. But in the midst of the other football, man, they're as good as anybody. They'll chunk you up because they got great weapons. They will throw probably 12 50-50 balls to the X receiver, and they'll probably run with some rapid pace, and they'll probably throw in a few trick plays. But, you know, I was talking about this on the film study. When a new football coach comes in there, or a new play caller, we can't reinvent the system in the middle of the season, even if we have a bye week. So what we will break and what we will change is the personal human tendencies, right? Like Billy had a really bad tendency on 3rd and short to run mesh. I don't know if they're going to run mesh, but maybe they run rail. You know what I mean? Maybe they have like one tendency as a play caller that you don't know about. That's the only little stick up. But they're not going to like be a pistol football team that's based off play action and chunk plays and then suddenly come out in the wishbone. Like, that's not how it's going to work. You know what I mean?
As you leave, and I fully understand you may not have done enough study to answer this because you were looking at a lot of teams, so feel free to tell me that. Oklahoma, not the offensive team they started the year as. Do you think it's more the injury or more that teams are starting to catch up a little bit on Arbuckle with more film, combo? What do you see there with Oklahoma?
Yeah, no, so I'm not a victim blamer. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. I don't do stuff like that. But that kid is very obviously not himself.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the way in which they call plays. Like, for example, this weekend, when Oklahoma gets into 2nd and 3 in plus territory, like ball at the plus 45, Ben Arbuckle's entire MO as a coordinator is to pull out the sword and go ahead and kill you right then and there on 2nd and 3 plus territory. That's not what he's doing right now. On 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5, they're doing everything they can to get into 3rd and 2 so they can do everything they can to convert the sticks. They are not hunting explosives. This is a type of coordinator that would see, for example, that you have 2 safeties in the middle of the field, and he'll just whistle down to the quarterback, hey, we got Kanik on a double move right now on that front side safety. We're going to hunt an explosive. Everybody else, you can just see them on tape. The other 11 people or the other 10 people on the field will just stand still, and they'll hunt that one explosive. I haven't seen anything like that since this injury. And look, I pointed this out about Mateer earlier, before the season about him. And I love the talent and I love the ability, and he's a great football player. He's a football player. He's not a quarterback. He's a guy that goes and gets it. But when we're 68% completion, 67% completion, because we don't do things mechanically clean, we're not a chicken and rice guy. We like all this flavor and all this flash and all this fun, when we should be a 72% completion guy in college. And then all of a sudden we get hurt. It's football. We're going to get hurt, especially when we are the run game, by the way. We get hurt. Now all of a sudden we become a 57% completion percentage guy instead of a 65% completion percentage guy. Now we're playing losing football. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what's happened with this kid, in my opinion. And you can see it in the way in which they call plays.
Follow Brooks on social media at Brooks Austin BA. The Film Guy Network on YouTube is where you find his work there on YouTube, and it is tremendous work. Subscribe and set your alerts for that.
Unbelievable.
Brooks,
Unbelievable.
Thank you for the time as always. Have a great week. We'll see you again soon.
No doubt, boys. Anytime. I'm always ready for the next round, and you fine folks over here.
Thank you, brother. Take care. Brooks with us on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline. Brooks Austin, the film guy there, and we always appreciate his time. Hey, as you celebrate a win or you just celebrate a fun time at the stadium, Culver's is the place you go for that celebration. From the juicy burger burger to the creamy frozen food custard, the crispy crinkle-cut fries, gooey golden cheese curds, there's something for everybody to enjoy in your crew. Win or lose, Culver's is the perfect place to celebrate the sweet memories you'll make all season long. So stop by the Culver's in Birmingham, Stadium Trace in Tattersall Park, and make this game day a delicious one.
Couple of things before we get to the viewing menu. Whacked Out Wednesday in the next segment, by the way. Basketball season starts Monday night. Elite College Basketball is asking, is this the toughest stretch of games in modern-day college basketball history? It happens to involve Alabama. They are asking, is this the toughest stretch of games? November 8th at number 5 St. John's. November 13th, home to number 1 Purdue. Then Wednesday, 17th ranked Illinois. Then in Vegas against 21st ranked Gonzaga, an improving UNLV team. There'll be another game after that against a ranked team out in Vegas. And then you come home for the ACC Challenge against Clemson. They later play Arizona, by the way. I also sent Auburn's schedule. They sprinkle in some wins in between an unbelievably tough schedule that they also have. Look at this. 16th, number 2 Houston, then Jackson State. Then in Vegas against Oregon, verge of a top 25 team, number 7 Michigan. Oh, by the way, don't let the little non-number by North Carolina State on December 3rd fool you.
Will Wade.
That's Will Wade in a team that by the time Auburn plays them will be ranked in the top 25. Then 13th ranked Arizona, sprinkle in Chattanooga, and then number 1 Purdue. Alabama and Auburn's schedule before we get to SEC play, both of them are ballers.
It is the advantage Lance basketball has over football. Like, they can just say, we'll just play anybody in basketball. It doesn't really matter. It's all going to be determined what we do in our conference record.
You're playing 35 games, and you know you can lose a handful of these games.
Yeah, sure.
Even when you lose, it helps the bottom line.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Sure, we can play all the top 10. It doesn't really matter. It's going to matter at the end of the year that we played these games.
Our friends at Twin Peaks gets us to this NFL question I'm about to ask. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. You tell me, should they be traded or not? Yahoo gives me these 6 players, brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks, where you can watch the NFL starting tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night we get week 9 of the NFL rolling.
Who's playing?
Baltimore and Miami?
That's right. The Miami Football Dolphins coming off their massive upset
Did you see where Marlon Humphrey says it was Lamar Jackson that came in and took out the ping pong tables, the video games, the basketball hoop from the locker room, the players area? Lamar Jackson had them taken out, and he said if they could have they had the TVs unplugged and turned off. He says if we could have taken out the TVs, we'd have done that too. We need to focus on business.
So we're getting focused and Lamar Jackson back.
Getting
Baltimore.
Lamar
That's
Jackson and focused.
Great.
Yeah, that's what
Baltimore.
you need.
It's fantastic. That's what
great place to watch. Game 5 of the World Series as well. Our friends at Twin Peaks, the legendary 29-degree draft served in 3D. The Twin Peaks girls running around. Stop in for lunch or dinner. No one does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference. They've got the tequila cocktails, great bourbon, extensive bourbon category there. Top shelf spirits, cocktails served over the ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails. They've got a great drink menu, second to none. And again, don't forget about the 29-degree draft. Stop in to one of those great locations today of Twin Peaks.
Yahoo Sports with these 5 names that they believe should be, and I'm going to throw one at the end, but 5 names that could at least be considered to be traded. Breece Hall, Jets. Do you think he ends up being traded?
I don't know. Jets coming off first win of the year. I mean, they're going nowhere fast. But, like, if you're a Jets fan, running backs have got such a short shelf life. But it is one of the positives you've got offensively.
I think he went 143 yards this past weekend or something.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if everything is on the table for the Jets, actually.
I don't know how many parts they have. Garrett Wilson, you want to get rid of him?
Oh, yeah, boy, if you get him,
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a big get for somebody.
Calvin Ridley with the Titans. The point here is Ridley would be a role player on a contender.
Yeah, 2 or a 3 for a contender, yeah.
And they've got 2 really young guys they feel are pretty good in Tennessee, so maybe you don't need Ridley to hang around for a rebuild.
Yeah, and to Lance's point, you've already fired the coach. Where you going right now? You could get some parts for Calvin Ridley, and again, his shelf life. How much longer does he have?
Yeah, and look, and Ridley has been the leading receiver. I mean, nothing has gone well for the Titans, but you wonder if A.J. Brown does get shipped, which he probably will. Do you have all Alabama with Devontae Smith, and you go out and get a Calvin Ridley?
So we think A.J. Brown may get popped out?
Oh,
during
I
the
think
trade deadline?
I think A.J. Brown, there's a great shot he is going to get traded.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's the lead? Have you seen any speculation who may get him?
No,
Okay.
I really haven't. I just know he's not happy. I know Philadelphia is not happy with him. And, they got back to what they did best last year. Everything revolved around Saquon.
Jacoby Myers, a lot of talk around him with the Raiders.
I've heard a lot of Max Crosby, and if I'm a Raiders fan, if you trade my best player, I'm going to be so pissed off. I mean, it's been a disaster early on with the Raiders. Jacoby is one of those guys that could be really a nice third option on offense. You look around the league, who needs that? Is New England one of these teams now that they're playing really good? But if you're Mike Vrabel, do you want to throw anything off by bringing another piece in?
Apparently, they're looking for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So Ridley could go there. Myers could go there. What about tight end? I think Brown's right, Joku?
From the Browns.
Yeah, for the Browns.
I mean, the Browns are talking about Myles Garrett maybe getting traded.
I mean, boy,
5 sacks last week.
What would you get for that guy?
I can't even imagine. But I mean, he is so devastated and so beat up by the fact that they can't win games. They're not even competitive. And
he's wasted a career.
He really has. I mean, it reminds me of, again, I'll take it back to the Rams, Steven Jackson. Great running back. Should have been a Hall of Fame guy, but for a decade didn't go to the postseason.
Yeah. Oregon State teams were better than those Ram teams.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And then there's Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals, and this is not going well for them. He wanted a big contract in the offseason, but they ended up not doing it, and here we are.
I heard a suggestion, and I don't want this. San Francisco still very much ended at 5-3. Disappointing loss this past week to the Texans, but with them as beat up as they are, if Hendrickson was to change conferences and go over and play for San Francisco, he could be a closer down the stretch against Sam Darnold, against Matthew Stafford. But I also heard the Colts could be in the mix for Hendrickson. And the Colts just getting another closing piece with the way they're playing right now, that would be a huge get for the Colts.
But when a Garrett or a Hendrickson comes up in contract, Aiden Hutchinson today has just maybe reset the market because the Lions have signed him to a 4-year, $180 million deal. So when it comes pass rusher contract time, there's your guy, right? Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, you saw what Micah Parsons got to go to Green Bay, and you see what Hutchinson is going to get. So it's going to become increasingly more difficult to sign and keep these guys.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun because there are so many good teams in the NFL this year. And so that one extra piece could literally put you over the top and win the conference and ultimately win a Super Bowl for you. So, outside of, any – I mean, the sexy names are the Trey Hendricksons of the world.
And I'll tell you who would be there if not for the injuries, Tyreek Hill. I mean, the Dolphins would be talking about trading Tyreek Hill right now, but obviously he's got no trade value at this point.
They are talking about trading Bradley Chubb, though.
I mean, what's he done?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great name, and it's a guy that, was really, really good for previous teams, but what's he done in Miami where you would say, oh, I got to go get that guy?
You've got the, as we say down in the French Quarter, you've got the C'est le ballet this weekend, the bye week with the Saints.
Is that how they say it?
14.5-point favorites. Tyler Shuck, the rookie out of Louisville, getting his first start. I mean, look, I think you probably start Shuck. Spencer Rattler was that bad against the Bucs last week. I just don't know what Shuck's going to be able to do on the road against his pass rush.
14 starts for Rattler, 1-13 in his career.
He's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, he's awful. I don't think Shuck's going to be much better, but, if you're the New Orleans Saints, you got to figure out, if you're Kellen Moore, moving forward, what are we going to do at quarterback? We're probably going to be drafting first, or at least one or two. So we're going to have an opportunity to get whoever the best quarterback is coming out of this class. But is Tyler Shuck a guy that we did spend a draft pick on last year? Could he possibly be the future? So you at least want to throw him in there playing. But Sean McVay coming off a bye with as good as this Rams team could easily be 7-0. And I love the fact that nobody's talking about the Rams anymore, which is great.
No, you're right.
And nobody will talk about them after this weekend, whatever happens, unless they were to lose.
Yeah.
But it's a tough start for Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, really is. Really is. All right, that's the NFL viewing menu right now. Before LT tells us about Michelson, I'll tell you the final hour of the show, always brought to you by Champy's world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster. High today is not going to get out of the 50s. It's wet. It's nasty. Nothing better for a nice, warm, good mood in your belly from Sterling and the crew right there with brined overnight, cooked to order Southern fried chicken. So delicious, juicy to the bone. Hand-cut chicken fingers, all the great sides. Mississippi Delta recipe tamales with a hint of heat to them. The spices just pop. It is Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster for lunch. And our friends at Michelson, they bring you the viewing menu.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That is the number that I called way back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of glasses or contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toe. The next round sent you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
First off, we've got a re-release in theaters tonight. It is a horror franchise that has exploded in popularity in recent years, and that is Terrifier. This sort of pays homage to a lot of the 80s sort of splatter movies where it's really over-the-top violent, and I don't think the first one's very good, but if you guys want to go see it, you can tonight at AMC Theaters.
3D? Is it in 3D?
It is not. It is not. But
does it do the sound effect?
Oh, there's a lot of that. It's a real squelchy, squishy sounding movie.
Yeah.
Act 3 of The Substance, right?
Yeah, a lot of that. And when I watched the first one for the first time, I had to pause it a couple times throughout the movie and ask myself what on earth I was watching, because it's absolutely wild. But if you're not interested in that, there's also a new release tonight called Anniversary. It stars Kyle Chandler, and it centers around tensions rising and loyalties being tested when a couple meet their son's new girlfriend, a radical young woman who's part of a controversial movement known as The Change. So this sounds like a movie that's not going to make any money, because people are going to walk in and just project whatever political beliefs they have onto the movie and hate it.
Okay.
But if you're into movies that do get a little political and open up a little bit of a back and forth between the characters, then you might like this one.
69% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's better than I would think.
It's about the division in our
I
country.
was about to say, I'm surprised it's not 50-50. Yes.
I like Kyle Chandler, Diane Lane, too. So,
Yep.
yeah, good solid cast.
Yeah, solid cast. HBO has added The Shining this month to its catalog, and I watched the first episode of the It Welcome to Derry show over the weekend, and so I want to rewatch The Shining and go and try to find little Easter eggs that'll help me figure out the story of Welcome to Derry.
Well, have you ever seen the documentary on The Shining? It's Room
237.
Yeah, have you seen it? And they've got a lot of Easter eggs in that. But The Shining, in my opinion, best horror film ever made.
I agree.
Yep.
And then finally, if you're not in the Halloween spirit, you can watch one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater in a double feature tonight on Freeform. At 5:30, you can watch the Pixar classic Monsters, Inc.
That's
followed
pretty
by
good.
Monsters University.
Yeah, I like Monsters, Inc. That's pretty good. Yeah.
It was always one of my favorite Disney movies.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah. Hey, the 6-episode run of Slow Horses, it was a good season going on. So if you're into the, what is it, third or fourth season of that British detective show, pretty good stuff, Slow Horses.
Love me some Gary Oldman.
Yeah, he's a disgusting human being in this thing, man. Holy socks, disgusting breath, farts all the time, just a disgusting human being in this show. All right, good detective, though. Good detective. That's our viewing menu, brought to you by our friends at Michelson. When we come back, we will get to Whacked Out Wednesday, some point spreads that aren't big enough. They're going to get whacked out this weekend. Shaquille O'Neal's Range Rover got whacked out. We'll talk about that. And more college football as we roll on today, being brought to you by the great folks at Woodhouse Day Spa. Man, remember Sally, our friend of ours?
Yep.
Turned, I won't say her age, but she had a birthday this week. I saw her chilling there with a little Woodhouse massage.
Yes, great place for relaxation. If you want to give somebody the gift of relaxation this holiday season, reach out to our friend Stuart, that great staff, beautiful location right there at the Summit Shopping Centers. Treat someone to the gift of luxury. Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Again, located at the Summit Shopping Center. Stop in, see Stuart, the great guys. Tell them the next round sent you. You can choose from a menu of over 70 options: massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Order that special person gift online 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt, can't work, don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, for Alabama and Auburn conversation, great breakdown by Brooks Austin, the film guy. You can go get that wherever you get us podcasted, Apple and Spotify. Set the alerts so you know when we have new stuff going up, which goes up daily, as the guys behind the glass are always kicking out content for you there. Always available on our YouTube channel. That's where you get Unlocked with Lance and Brock every week. You can go and enjoy that conversation every week. It's always there for you. And a new Bama and Bourbon is coming out as well. And don't forget, on the same Next Round platform, you get Last Call with Mick Gillespie and Jake Coker. It drops occasionally there. And you have the alerts set there. And then post-game after Alabama games, right here on this same platform with Mick as well. All that is available for you there as we roll in. Before we get to our spotlight, I have a couple of college football things I want to get to. Before you tell us about Hemp Hill, though, one entertainment news thing. How good is it to be at the top of your game and you've just signed a new contract with a different company, but it doesn't go into effect until 2029? So you still got to work out the rest of this contract until 2029. January 2029 is when your new contract starts with a new company. That's Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan.
What is it? Taylor Sheridan, who's leaving Paramount. Now, Yellowstone and all that will stay property of Paramount, but he is going to go with NBCU, Universal, and Peacock, and I guess whatever by 2029, whatever they're streaming on. And that's who he's going to be working with. That's pretty sweet living when you're 55 and you're so good at your game that they're like, hey, we know you can't come work for us until January of 2029. Let's go ahead and sign that big deal right now.
I mean, everything he touches, it started with, it didn't start with Yellowstone. He was doing feature films before, and I've talked about it, Wind River, Hell or High Water, Sicario, just great scripts. But everything the guy touches, from Yellowstone to those sequels and prequels and now Landman and Tulsa King, and Mayor of Easttown or Mayor of Kingstown, he's killing it.
So do you fear, though, if you're Paramount, that now I'm not going to get the best work out of this guy? He's going to save all his good ideas for this next contract. Do you fear that a little bit if you're Paramount?
Absolutely.
Do you maybe approach him and be like, all right, we'll let you out of our deal early for X?
Well, I think they've already got his concept, so I think they can run with these concepts for the next couple of years as far as his creative
and they own
juices.
all the rights to the Yellowstone IP,
so you can just keep pumping
spin
all that
off
out
of that for all eternity.
Yeah,
but
but see,
NBC's giving him $1 billion over 5 years, I believe, is the official figures for the deal.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's not going to feed his ego that is already
Not at all.
massive.
Paramount Plus pretty much wouldn't exist without him. So
that's true.
So this is a
NBC's
big
gonna
loss for
just
them.
Back up the Brinks truck.
Yeah,
for
so
him.
this is a huge loss for Paramount then, huh?
But I bring this up because of the way the playoff structure is and everything right now. Could you see somewhere in the future that we'll use Auburn as an example this year, that you're not really married to Hugh Freeze, you don't love Hugh Freeze, but in the back of your mind you're like, okay, let's go ahead and work out a deal that we'll keep Hugh for one more year, and we know whatever happens next year, we're making a change. And you're almost able to plan into the future what NBCU has done with Sheridan here, that you could plan for the end of the 2026 season. This guy's going to be our coach. Whoever, I can't think of a scenario of who that guy would be.
Yeah.
John Sumrall.
Maybe it's Lincoln Riley. Maybe it's John Sumrall.
But the danger there is in today's transfer portal, let's say that, and I'll use Tommy Tuberville and Auburn as an example. They had the jet gate with Bobby Petrino, and then everything, becomes public knowledge, and Tuberville goes on record, I'm going to win a national championship. And the very next year, with Cornell and Ronnie and Jason Campbell, they go undefeated. So I wonder if Hugh in the portal, they just had this magical year next year, and you've already said that's it for you. What do you do in that situation?
Can you imagine John Sumrall getting ready for Texas San Antonio, UTSA, and he's in his press conference like, Coach, I know you play UTSA this week, but Auburn, they just start peppering him with Hugh Freeze at Auburn. Auburn just lost a quarterback to the portal. It's going to be your team next year. We're just curious your thoughts. His coach's heads would explode. There's no way they'd ever do that. But in a variation of your question there, I was asked, I did Mike Grace's show, The Press Box, earlier today with Bart Heisch and all the gang there, Colin Lacey. And I think it was Colin that asked me, if you want James Franklin or Brian Kelly and you've got an interim coach, why not just hire them now?
No, you got to do it now.
Yeah, literally right now.
You got to do it now. That's the advantage of buying a coach who is on the shelf right now, because he can come in while the people are still coaching and playing. He can start recruiting.
That's right. And that's what I said. I said, you never really see it done. I said, the closest I've seen was when UAB they decided they were going to move on from Vincent and hire Trent Dilfer. And Dilfer was on the job. They had 2 or 3 weeks of crossover to the point that Dilfer was actually at the bowl game, standing on the sidelines, doing interviews. It was a very awkward situation there. And I was like, it's going to get awkward. But I don't know why you wouldn't do it if you knew that that's the guy you wanted.
I've seen it a couple of times at bowl games where the interim coach is coaching the bowl games and new coaches there watching the game. I've seen that happen a couple of times.
Yeah, they normally have him in the booth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's going to be your team next year. What are you watching? Did Kirby do that at Georgia? He's preparing for Alabama, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah. I just wonder if, is there a chance that the coach at headphones are doing that too? So whatever y'all are doing, I think it's all of us.
Is it the microphone?
No, I think it's our headphones.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a chance? So whatever just happened, fix it so nobody touch anything. Is there a chance that? No, I'm kidding with you, Tyler. I don't think it was you. I think it was in here. Is there a chance Brian Kelly's the coach at Penn State? I've seen some speculation on that. Do you think that could happen?
I think it could happen.
Where?
Penn State.
Penn State.
Brian Kelly to Penn State.
It could happen.
So that would be the example I'm talking about.
I don't know about you guys. No disrespect, Matt Rule, if you're listening, love you to death. But if I could get Matt Rule or Brian Kelly, I'm taking Brian Kelly.
Well, it's weird that word came out last night that Troy Dannon at Nebraska is working on an extension for Matt Rule right now. It's
great timing.
The way your name comes out of a job search is when you say I'm staying here at Nebraska. So that came out there. So maybe Brian Kelly at Penn State.
The tricky part about that, though, for Troy Dannon is, let's say Nebraska lays an egg at home Saturday night against USC. It's going to be a weird time to do an extension. You hope if you're Troy Dannon, Nebraska goes out, takes care of USC. That's, even though it's not a massive win, USC's barely ranked, Lance. You're still beating a brand at home. That's going to go a long way, and then you announce the extension, and everybody's happy. You lose to USC, and then you have to say, oh, yeah, but somebody wanted our coach, so we've extended him and given him another $1 million a year.
Yeah, I think that's quietly going to be a really, really good game.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
NBC Saturday night?
Just gonna throw this out there. How wild would this be?
Okay.
Kiffin at Florida, Lanning at LSU.
All right. I'm tracking. Who we got at Ole Miss?
You're still tracking.
Yeah.
Sumrall
at Ole Miss
goes to Ole Miss.
Okay. That's a fun conference.
James Franklin goes to Oregon.
Wow. Boy, if I'm an Oregon fan, I don't know if I want that.
That's typical Oregon, though. Like, you have really good years, and then you got nothing at the end of the year to show for it.
Yeah, but I end up with James Franklin.
No, I'm just saying that it just fits what they're doing. But, yeah, I'm trying to lock Lanning in forever.
Yeah, right now, Oregon is the one fan base that's like, ugh, is that what we got?
And why not Jimbo Fisher back to Florida State? Think about it.
Lance,
Tell me
I'll
about Hemp Hill.
I'll let you fill this one.
Tell me about Hemp Hill, and then give me your thoughts.
Yeah, our friends at Hemp Hill Services, look, the weather, we mentioned, we're not going above 55 today. You need to make sure the heat is keeping up with the changing weather. Maybe you got a plumbing issue. Our friends, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, they can hook you up. Trust the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all or any of these issues. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train or hemphillservices.com.
Haynes King, Connor Wegman, Marcel Reed, combined 23-1, all recruited by Jimbo Fisher to play at Texas A&M.
No, A&M at one point had an incredible quarterback room, and
I'll say that again. Haynes King, Marcel Reed, Connor Wegman, 23-1 right now as starters this year, all recruited by Jimbo Fisher. Is there a chance? And I'm just making my case here. And maybe Florida State's the wrong place, but Auburn or wherever Jimbo Fisher wants to coach again, Virginia Tech, wherever it is, that a little time off resets Jimbo Fisher? Because you can't say he wasn't really a good coach.
No,
when
I
he
thought
won
he was
the
a
national
solid coach.
championship, right?
Yeah, look, he had a generational player, though, and he did a good job at Florida State, no
That
doubt.
he recruited.
But I think that we saw what you're going to get from Jimbo Fisher at A&M, more so year in, year out. I think he's like in the SEC an 8 or 9 win coach, which isn't bad. So it just depends on what the job is. But if I'm Florida State, do I want him back? I don't know. Maybe the time off. Maybe he's Dick Vermeil.
Well, let me tell you, if you've got to buy out Norvell, Jimbo Fisher comes cheap. Mike Bianchi writes that today, wherever Mike's writing these days, thinking Orlando Sentinel.
But if I'm Florida State, I don't want cheap.
Well, I mean, you can get Jimbo cheap because he's got all that money from Texas A&M.
I won't cheap if I spend the rest of it on NIL.
Yeah, and I've got to pay $54 million to Mike Norvell.
But that's not the reason I want to hire Jimbo. If I believe that Jimbo's going to be able to come in and replicate what he did before, then that's a reason to hire him. If I'm hiring him because I can get him on the cheap, it's not a reason.
To Lance's point, you got to sell the fan base on we'd hire this guy if he were cheap or not. We're not hiring him because he's cheap. Now, the fact that Texas A&M is going to pay most of his salary this year, that's a benefit to us, but we'd do it no matter what. That's what you have to sell your fan base on if you do this.
Yep. For those that thought Marcus Freeman would leave for Penn State or Florida, he has let his representatives know he is not interested in Penn State or Florida.
Shouldn't be.
And we'll see if anybody else jumps into that race. Before we hit the spotlight, LT tells us about Gray's Tree Service. If you've got some dead woods, like 4 dead pines LT once had, you can get the trees removed, cut down, hauled away, and get your yard back to a safe, beautiful place with our friends at Gray's Tree Service.
Yeah, you need to make sure that the professionals are doing the removal, too. That's our friends at Gray's. From the removal, the trimming, the health, you care for your lawn, care for your trees as well. Family-owned, operated right here in Birmingham and Bessemer for 30 years now, over 80 employees. Free estimates on all the services out there. Trusted by nearly every golf course in town of the Birmingham Zoo. No competition. Call 205-255-1239. You can scan the QR code right there or just visit graystree.com.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shannara Spotlight every single day, presented by our guy, Alexander Shannara. $2 billion. That is $2 billion. Alexander Shannara has recovered for his clients, maintaining core values of integrity, mastery, passion, and success. He will work the same way for you. That's what he does. Shannara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
Okay, it's Whacked Out Wednesday. So basically, you take a point spread and you say, man, 6.5 is just not enough. They're going to win the game by 20 or blah, 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 blah. I think Miami goes in and waxes SMU this week. Whacked out.
Whacked out.
Yeah, I've the last couple of weeks I've been dialed in on this. I'm going back to who I had 3 weeks ago. I'm taking Notre Dame on the road. BC. BC's got 1 win this year. They have been absolutely awful. This BC offense, the scoring defense has actually been worse, giving up over 34 points per game. Notre Dame is now playing, I think, for style points. I really do. They're going to have to obviously go 10-2, and I think they're going to have to win some of these games by a huge margin. You look at Boston College, they've lost their last 4 by 14 plus. Notre Dame laying 28.5 on the road. They might get bored and only win by 40, but they win by 40 plus.
That's whacked out.
It's whacked out.
Top 4 rush teams in the nation. When you think best rush team in the nation, what type of program do you normally think
you
of?
think the Naval Academy.
Service academies, right?
Best rush defense played last night, James Madison.
Oh, JMU. How about that? Top 3 rush defenses, top 4 rush offenses in the country, I should say. The 3 service academies and
Wait.
Top 3 rush offenses, the 3 service academies and
Georgia Tech.
Not the Ramblin' Wreck, Lance.
No,
Not
no.
the Georgia Institute of Technological Learning. Nope.
God, we talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. In fact, I think Brooks even did a graphic on it a couple of weeks ago. Boys, it is the Big C, little O, CKS.
That's right.
That's a good.
You like the ass-kicking chicken?
Yep.
That's our second best logo.
You even put his razors on there.
That's right. They got them on
That's
there.
how you become a Gamecock.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't taken with how politically correct we are.
Lance, have you spent any time in Jacksonville, Alabama?
I would have said the same thing with the Redskins and the Indians.
You know what they don't have at the service academies? They don't have Cooter Brown's Rib Shack. They don't have the Rocket and those great cheeseburgers. They don't have Struts. Jack State does. Big C, little O, CKS. Not only is it a whacked out Wednesday, they going to get whacked out tonight because they play Middle Tennessee tonight, 5.5. Middle Tennessee will never see it coming. Jacksonville State by $1 billion.
Only 5.5.
It's
5.5
now.
4. It's down to 4. What are you laughing at? Because the number continues to drop, and I got the Gamecocks in a
And
blowout.
I couldn't
I'm on the
do
wrong
it, though.
side.
Like both of these games tonight, I've been riding Missouri State, but I'm not playing that, and I just couldn't play Middle Tennessee State. I couldn't do it.
Okay. Big C, little O, CKS, Jack State Gamecocks.
All right. As Brown continues his push for the Sports Hall of Fame in Jacksonville.
Well, that's not going to get you there. The disrespect.
I didn't mean to do it, Tyler.
So that's Whacked Out Wednesday, brought to you by our friends at Alexander Shannara. By the way, Greg Sankey and the United SEC presidents, 16 strong, all of them backing Greg Sankey, who got the NCAA to delay the college athletes being allowed to vote on professional sports. Will not go into effect November 1st. It's at least pushed back to November 22nd. Sankey's now giving everyone a chance to rescind that vote, that ruling, and make it to where college athletes will continue not be allowed to gamble on pro sports.
You know, I think the timing, when we go back to last week with it dropping the FBI, the investigation with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and what's going on right now in the association, I think the timing worked out for Sankey and the SEC to, ask for this. And I don't know where I am on this because I think there is something with transparency. It seems like if you are betting on your phone, everybody's got access as far as like people that are monitoring this. If these guys start gambling illegally with offshore accounts or with local bookmakers, you're really not going to know what they're doing. It is interesting that we're paying these guys millions of dollars and we've opened up, hey, you can legally bet and lose all your money and become addicted. But I think it's better to be addicted when it's regulated than it's better to be addicted when it's not. So I don't know where I am on this.
Am I wrong in saying that this will essentially go the same way as they used to test for weed, right? I mean, they used to have to do piss tests for marijuana.
Yeah.
Why do you not have to do that now in the NCAA?
Well, first of all, it's legal in 39 states.
There you go.
Just like gambling.
Yeah,
is.
that's right. And that's my point. Do we not just anticipate this going the same way? Like,
it's going to have to.
If it's legal, how can we prohibit them from doing it as long as they're legally doing it? Now, part of the regulation is like, and this is true in the NFL, you can't bet from an NFL facility. I think that's what got Calvin Ridley, right? He wasn't betting on it, or was that Jamison Williams? Which Alabama receiver was that? I think it was Jamison Williams who was betting from the facility.
Ridley was hurt. He was out.
Yeah, but he was betting on the games. I think what got Jamison Williams wasn't necessarily that he was betting on the NFL, which I don't even think he was, but I think he was betting from the facility, and you cannot do that in the NFL.
And I understand what Sankey and the SEC, they're doing. They're trying to uphold the integrity of the game, and they don't want any games being fixed. And I don't know if you can avoid that at the collegiate level.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you can.
Turns out, according to ESPN, that Terry Rozier, who was caught up in the FBI probe last week, his alleged manipulation of games, we'll use the word alleged there, Terry Rozier was, according to public records, under a $8 million tax lien from the IRS when he allegedly manipulated these games.
Okay,
so it wasn't gambling debt. It was a tax debt of $8 million that maybe led him down this road, allegedly.
The IRS will work with you on these back penalties that they owe, and you've still got a guaranteed $96 million contract.
It's amazing, isn't it? I saw...
Sell a car.
I don't know if you guys remember Mike Franzese that came on our show years ago in the radio days, and he was in the mob, but now he's out and he's speaking about it. I don't know if he turned on them, ratted them out, went to jail. I can't remember what got him out of there, but
he's been kind of vague about it. I've seen his podcast.
Yeah, so he did an interview with us, and I can't remember the details of him leaving, but maybe that's why, because he's vague. But he told how they would get players to flip, and he's like, you'd find out that a guy's betting, and you'd call him in, and you'd be like, hey, you're down 250 to us, We'll let you off the hook if you'll just pay us 2% a month, 2% of this $250 a month. In fact, just knock it down to $150 and pay us 2% a month. He goes, every single time they're relieved, they walk out from us. You know what they do? They go right to another bookie and start betting because they've gotten off the hook. He goes, what they don't know is that bookie's working with us.
Yeah.
And now we've got him trapped. And he goes, we've got him in our snare now. And now he's going to lose with this bookie too, and he's going to be down $5,600,000. And now we're going to get our claws in him and say, we need an interception in this game. We need a turnover in this game. Well, here's what we need from you now. And he's just like, it's so easy to get these guys. They're competitive. Then once they get the juices flowing, but it is regulation that catches these things, right? So that's why if you're going to have gambling, having regulated gambling is the way you're going to catch these things.
When we come back, we'll get to trash as well. I don't know if we'll show a picture or not, but some guy who wants back into coaching, I think has jumped very heavily into some plastic surgery.
All right.
Huh.
Not Lane Kiffin. Tanner knows that.
Well, he's still coaching.
I know,
He's
that's what
still
I'm saying. But Lane Kiffin would be your normal guess on that.
As we go to break here, we'll remind you that the show today is being brought to you by, have you done Michelson? Another Michelson Laser Vision takes us break here as we'll be looking with clear eyes at a possible plastic surgery.
Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. I got the procedure done in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jim Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. You can always get more information on this. Go to michelsonlaservision.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Not that I care,
but
I'm a, how'd you say it last week, personal freedoms guy?
Yeah.
believe if you want plastic surgery, you can do plastic surgery.
Yeah.
It may be the hairline that has changed since Ed Orgeron won the national championship.
Oh, Coach O's getting plastic surgery.
So maybe it's not plastic surgery, but I've seen him on social media a lot lately because his name's in the mix. This is WAFB, local TV down there, as Ed's out talking to some folks. Oregon State apparently.
Yeah, that's not good work.
But is that a little eye tuck there?
Yeah,
or is it the fact that the hairline's further back now?
Maybe some of that, but I think the Botox just tightening the forehead.
Botox.
I think it's Botox. I think Lance is
and
right.
I think he's got some bad filler under his eyes.
Yeah. So Oregon State for Ed O.
Yeah.
There's a closer look there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten work done.
Yeah,
But I mean,
It's,
guys
again,
in great,
each
guys
their
are-
own.
Yeah, he's in great shape. I mean, he works out, runs shirtless all the time.
He's been living
fun-loving dude, man.
Been living at the beach, and I think that'll, that tan's gonna help you a little bit.
I think he likes something a lot of guys like, and maybe you want to age, the way you want to age. But, he never struck me as a guy like, I know he runs all the time shirtless. He never struck me as a guy that would do any face work. But, hey, again, each their own.
Each their own. I agree.
It's undefeated. Whatever keeps you in the game.
Yep. Oregon State, though, man, that'd be
maybe what kept him out of the game.
That'd be a tough place to go is Oregon State.
Yeah.
When you've gotten used to the resources of the SEC, and you have to go coach at Oregon State, who barely has a conference, that's going to be a lot.
I think it's one of those things, though. It's still. God, I hate to say proud program, but they do have a fun fan base.
They do.
They care about their football. But if you just love coaching football, the thing Orgeron's never got to worry about again is money.
Yeah.
So if you just want to coach.
And it gets you, well, we discussed some money. He had that divorce that apparently took.
Oh, I think there's a reason he needs to coach again.
Took
yes.
50%.
Yeah. How about Oregon State, Washington State is primetime CBS this week?
That's right.
Like 6:30 main CBS for that game of the two teams that are in the wandering in the wilderness, hoping that Moses gets them to the promised land.
Contractually, as it was part of the deal, and they got a conference next year, and it'll be a better conference. It'll have Boise State in it, San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado State, Utah State,
side by side. Very well done by Scott. Side by side. What do you think? So that's 2019, and
I mean the crow's feet are as accentuated as they were. The forehead shot from the one before, it was tighter on the one that we had.
Jim, you're right. The hairline has moved back.
It's 2019 to 2025.
That's right. Yeah, 6 years. He's got more power alleys than he used to.
None of us have Joe Burrow against time.
No. Well, I tell you what, Reese hadn't aged a lot.
No, he really hasn't.
Reese
looks younger now than he did in that picture. Tell us about gutter cap as we continue the conversation here. A couple more things.
Yeah, cap it, don't snap it. Dirty, dangerous job. Look, there's rain in the area. The last thing you want is the gutters not clean and free flowing. The answer is gutter cap. It's a patent aluminum cover system, fits over most existing gutters, will only allow rainfall in the gutter. See Stu and the guys that will come out and give you a free estimate, clean the gutters one last time, then they'll cap it. You'll never clean the gutters again. If you get on the roof, slip, fall, snap the neck, and die, no good to the wife or kids. Cap it, don't snap it. 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Listen, you guys run in different circles than I do when it comes to finances. Y'all experience things I don't. I'm just a kid from the trailer park.
Are we taking the private jet again this weekend?
Yeah, the PJ, yeah.
I don't know, some things happen. But so if you're well off and you have a good ride,
yeah,
but you don't want to put you're not going to drive from Atlanta to Baton Rouge for a football game. But if you want your car there, there's a service that would ship your car from Atlanta to Baton Rouge, and then you fly there, and then you get into your car, and you're able to drive your car around in Baton Rouge, if that's what you want to do. That Shaquille O'Neal's custom Range Rover was stolen in transport to an LSU game.
First of all, let me say this. I think
they don't know where it is yet. They're still trying to figure it out.
It's apparently easy to find.
Apparently, somebody, according to the report, breached the system, acted like they worked for this company that always ships Shaq's cars around.
Yeah, who's using this besides Shaq? I understand Shaq, and I give him a lot of credit that he shows up randomly all the time to these home LSU games.
But he would have to have a custom ride. I mean, he can't fit in a normal car.
But I'm saying, would you guys, I wouldn't even think twice, even if I had that kind of money, why would you just not get a car service?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would imagine if I.
But for Shaquille, it makes sense.
Yeah,
at
for
7'2".
Shaquille, I mean, like, he can't do a rental car. He may get to the counter and, like, all we've got is an actual car. And he's like, look, I cannot fit in an actual car. It's at least got to be an SUV.
Yeah. But I would imagine if I was a superstar and I was going to, if I live in New York, but I was going to be in L.A. for a while, maybe I'd want my, Jim throws out a car name he doesn't really know what it is, a Bugatti.
Yeah.
I want my Bugatti out in SoCal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in LA,
I ship it out to Bugatti to get it.
You can rent those.
Most people do.
I want mine. Yeah. Apparently, Effortless Motors customized $180,000 this vehicle for Shaq. And the First Line Trucking LLC is the one that apparently they're trying to chase. They haven't found the car yet.
I'm going to say if this is your like whole industry here is shipping car from place to place and you get one stolen, it's probably going to be bad for you. Wow.
Yeah. Apparently there's somebody who bought this one off the black market that is trying to reach the gas pedal.
No, I cannot get past this red light.
And I would think this thing jumps to. I missed the color? Is it purple?
I think it's black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, he does have purple tie, Lakers and LSU.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
It's a good-looking Range Rover. Nice and clean.
That's what I didn't think about the height. When I saw custom, I thought, it must be an LSU custom build.
You've seen his bed, though, right?
It has to be custom, right?
Oh, my God. So when they did cribs back in the day, his was one of the best because he had Shacapulco, his pool, and the back, and it was massive. But his bed, I don't even remember how big it was. I don't know how you would change sheets.
I think it was a double California King.
Wow.
Yeah, from like length and width.
Length and width.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is insane. A California King is huge to begin with.
Well, I'll ask the obvious question. What's the most people he's had in that bed?
Yeah. I bet you lost count.
Well, I mean, Wemby is killing it right now. Victor Wembanyama. I think Spurs are unbeaten or close to it.
He's ridiculous.
31 points, 32 minutes per game is what he's averaging. So that's a point per minute. 19 blocks so far this year. He's 7'5" now. It just dawned on me when you were saying this that he had a special mattress in Shacapulco. I was thinking at Wemby at 7'5", the part of the pool at my house that I dive into is only 7 feet. That's the shallow end for him.
Dangerous for him.
He can just stand in the deep end of the pool, and he's 5 inches out of the water.
Yeah,
I bet he wins every game of Marco Polo.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, he can go anywhere in the pool.
Yeah.
Or like in my pool, we used to have some pretty good volleyball games, but if you're serving from the shallow end to the slanted end, you've got the advantage. His whole bathing suit would show in the shallow end.
I saw one of the AIs, one of those fake AIs the other night. So guys playing Marco Polo with Helen Keller.
So
terrible.
I saw her wrestling Stephen Hawking.
I know, it's absolutely awful.
So Wemby and Shaq, do they get custom pools for a deep end? Is theirs
you'd
like
have
14, 16 feet deep?
But think too, it sounds like a luxury, but those guys can't even fly commercial if they wanted to. How are you going to fly commercial?
I am miserable sometimes flying commercial.
And you're 6'3".
Yeah.
That guy's an entire foot taller than you. You got to fly private.
Yeah, crazy. All right, let's get to trash brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama today. UCA is there for your health, and not just for men. They'll take care of the women in your life too, guys. So let the lady in your life understand that. But guys, listen, prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between, they have you covered with 16 locations. Find the one near you, 205-930-0920 or urologycentersalabama.com. For over 70 years, UCA has provided state-of-the-art, patient-centered urological care with integrity and compassion. That's the kind of place you get at urologycentersalabama.com. LT and I use them. You should too. urologycentersalabama.com.
Now, if that's too much, 12 different appetizers to choose from. I'm a fried dickle pickle man. I'm a fried dill pickle man.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We start first. Where are we on pickles? I like pickles.
I love pickles, Lance. Love them, but I don't
love
like
fried
this.
pickles.
I don't like this either.
You like for dickle pickles or just?
No. They've done this once before, right?
Yeah, it's not good. I've tried it. I think we tried it. I think we ordered a bunch of them and tried them up here or something.
Yeah, so Jimmy John's Viral Pickle Witch returned to the menu nationwide just a couple of days ago on the 27th with more ingredient options and a new pickle-flavored ranch. Now, the limited-time menu item originally went viral in 2024 after sparking wave reactions online and in stores. Fans shared videos showing the breadless sandwiches built entirely inside of a sliced pickle. leading to widespread sellouts in multiple markets. Now, the chain confirmed that renewed demand pushed the Pickle Witch back into restaurants this year. It arrives with a wider selection than before, expanding the number of sandwich builds available.
She's very happy about it.
And Forrester, you're the one that got it right, and you were shocked at how small it was.
Yes. It is the saddest thing that you could call a sandwich that I've ever tried.
Is it smaller than the Little John?
So this is the promotional picture, and I've also got a picture of Forrester's sandwich.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those don't look a lot alike.
I mean, that's not. I mean, we sue on a lot of things for that. It's not like what you promote, and people win lawsuits.
Yeah, this could not look any less like the promotional photo.
That looks like you cut a leech open and stuffed some bullshit in it.
I think it was Brooks that said it kind of looked like a hot dog, and it sort of looks like a pickle hot dog. Yeah.
How much did this abomination run you, Scott?
Oh, I don't remember. Way more than it was worth.
I mean, but it's just, it can only be as big as the pickle that you're putting the meat and stuff
That's
in,
true.
right?
That's right. That's what she said. But that's just too much pickle taste. I love
pickles.
I love pickles too, but I don't want like overwhelming pickle on every
Me
bite.
too.
That's
Me
the thing.
too.
It's got to be an accessory to a sandwich.
I love a wickle, man. Those wickles.
Those are good.
I eat the okra and the pickles. I mean, it's a side item sometimes.
Yeah, you used to be a big sponsor here. You need small hand models for this.
You do.
There's 100% they did that. 100% they did that.
Yeah, go back to the really happy girl. I think she's got small hands. See?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. That's a famous person.
Oh, that's Demi Lovato.
Yeah, but that's not even her hands. Show me the picture of everybody's hands on the pickles.
Yeah, small hands.
See,
look, you can tell those on the left are small.
Yeah, those are
Rob Snyder.
Yeah,
Alex Cordry.
Wow,
those look so much bigger than the actual.
The smallest hands I've ever seen.
Let's dial back to that.
Yeah.
I do not remember that about
I worked
Alex.
with her. I don't know if I ever shook her hand.
Alex was not a particularly small person. I mean,
I think she was like 5'2", 5'3".
I think she was an average size woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Average size.
I remember we talked about it on the air when she came in studio.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. I don't either.
Hey, we've been together a long time. There's a lot
Tiny
I forget.
meteorologist Kaylee Dion.
Oh, yeah.
She was.
And she could juggle marbles. So this is pretty good. New Jersey woman has pleaded guilty to a 4 a.m. torching of a man's home after he fell asleep inside and stood her up on a booty call.
Oh, not a booty call.
Now, in a court hearing, Taja Russell, right here, 35 years old.
By the way, she's proud she did it. Look at
right.
she's
Wait till you hear the text she sent out. She copped to an aggravated arson, second-degree felony, and a plea deal. Prosecutors have agreed to recommend an 8-year prison sentence, of which Russell will have required to serve 85% more than 6.5 years. It's a long stretch. Russell was indicted on 5 other charges, including attempted murder and aggravated assault. As detailed in court records, Russell had traveled to the home of victim Curtis Stokes, who told cops he, quote, invited defendant to his residence to have sexual intercourse. Stokes added that Russell was a, quote, side chick with whom he had been having sex. The pair's pre-dawn communication had consisted of Russell texting Stokes, hello, to which he romantically responded, bring your ass here. But by the time Russell arrived, Stokes had fallen asleep, did not respond to her at the door. And since Russell sent a text complaining, you wasted my money to come here. And then she started, minutes later, sending a text of series of threats. You smoked. I see you want to die, and I swear to God, I hope you die. She then went to a gas station, purchased lighter fluid, matches, and a cigarette lighter. She returned to Stokes' home, set a fire outside of the rear apartment, sole entrance.
Wait, how many fire starters did she purchase?
She got lighter fluid, matches, and a cigarette lighter.
I don't know which one I'm going to use. I just want to have my bases covered.
Now, Stokes told police he awoke to the smell of smoke, unable to leave via the door as, quote, the fire was too intense. He suffered first and second-degree burns. Forcefully had to remove an entire window frame to escape. Wearing only a T-shirt and, quote, covered head to toe in soot and ash, he ran to a nearby police headquarters.
Wait, only a T-shirt, so he's bottomless? He was Donald Ducking?
Yep.
Or Winnie the Poohing.
Or Winnie the Poohing, yes. Didn't bother either one of them, Tyler. They both went.
Yeah.
Bring your ass here.
That's right. That's very romantic. You're right.
So she can't get out in 4 years with good behavior. She's got to do at least 6.5 as part of the plea deal.
Yeah, I don't believe there's going to be good behavior based on these choices.
How about this up first? A woman was charged after police say she stabbed her husband with a ceramic squirrel in an argument over beer on Christmas morning.
Okay, I always have to ask, is this the actual squirrel or was this just a stock photo?
This is just a photo of a ceramic squirrel. I couldn't find the ceramic squirrel.
Yeah, because I've got to know if you're going to stab somebody, it's got to have sharp edges. Squirrels are generally rounded.
God, I had some friends growing up, and I think it was 2 different sets, and I forgot. One loved ceramic pigs, their parents or mom, and then I forgot what the other was.
I like
never understood the ceramic animals.
I liked the pig when it had a bunch of money in it.
There was a time in the 80s, early 90s, that people, you had a theme in your kitchen. It was like you were all pigs or all cows or all something. And it would involve towels and ceramic animals like that. Which side of her mouth do you think she drinks out of?
One's downhill.
Yeah, it's a lean. Does she have a dimple? She's just got a frown. Poor girl. This is Helen Williams, by the way, 44 years old.
She needs to turn it either upside down or right side up.
It's like she got popped in the eyes, too. Now, she's charged with criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. Never heard that one either. Police officers were called to Clifton Street shortly after midnight Wednesday, where a wounded 41-year-old man had gone to the neighbor's home and called 911 after the alleged attack. Officers noticed scratches on the man's face and a large amount of blood smeared across his upper body and down his arms. A deep cut was on the man's shoulder and chest, according to police. When questioned by police, Williams reported the man merely fell, accidentally cutting himself. Now, her hands and clothes, however, also covered in blood. She denied that the blood belonged to the wounded man. The man told police that he had walked to a store earlier in the night to buy beer, but the store was closed.
Ironically, if the left side of her face is telling me this, I believe her. But if the right side of her face is telling me this, I think she's lying.
Now, Williams grew angry that the man returned without beer, so she grabbed a ceramic squirrel, hit the man over the head out of anger. Dang. Williams then stabbed him in the shoulder and chest with the item.
Oh, there you go. So it broke. That's how we stab somebody with a squirrel. We broke it.
I did see this story yesterday. Mississippi's got a pretty wild situation. A hostile STD-carrying monkey busted loose from a large trailer truck hauling primates after the semi flipped over on a highway, according to police. I saw this on Instagram yesterday. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, you'll get to this.
The wreck went down Tuesday in Heidelberg, where the truck containing several monkeys infected with hepatitis C, herpes, and COVID crashed en route from Tulane to a Florida testing lab. This is straight out of a movie.
Monkey's lived a wild life, hasn't he?
Yes, those guys were monkeying around.
Now, witnesses shot camera footage that captured the monkey climbing out of the trailer, wandering around in a rural area. Cops say 6 monkeys made a break for it. 5 have been destroyed, but 1 is still on the loose.
Destroyed?
Yeah,
that's
they
the word they
euthanized
used.
them.
Yeah.
Now, police warned the
We could
public.
have come up with a better word than destroyed.
Well, they have to burn the body afterwards because.
Well, doesn't that just release the STD into the atmosphere?
Well, they have a controlled environment.
Control
where they're doing
burn?
that.
Yeah, why can't we shoot it out of a missile silo into space?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, what is the one that's still
The one, a
abroad?
volcano.
Huh? The one that's still free. What is it running around with?
So they're trying to downplay this.
Yeah.
I think this is a problem. Police are warning the public the monkey is super aggressive towards humans, and they're saying if you see the monkey, just call 911. It is a furry baboon running around right now. They're saying it's not infectious. I saw Outbreak.
Yep.
It spit in Patrick Dempsey's eye.
That's right.
And it effed up the entire town.
So wait, it was six monkeys in a truck. We've euthanized 5. The 5 infected ones. The one that is free is the one that's not.
Don't worry about that one.
Yeah. It's a miracle, Jim.
Yeah,
they got all the infected.
Yeah, but you guys have been locked up in that truck for a while.
Yeah, but he was celibate,
and you guys didn't do anything. Okay.
Hey, fast forward, 2 weeks, and this place is dark, and like our whole society's gone off the rails because of this one monkey.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes. There's a whole film franchise about it.
Oh, I had this one sent to me.
I only get this on my lip, says this one monkey, because I stress out. It's nothing.
It's a cold sore.
Well, how about that? How about that Alabama game where Eli Drinkwitz had a cold sore? And it's all I could see every time. Who's the old girl doing interviews? I can't remember her name now.
Katie George?
Maybe Katie George. Yeah, it was Katie George. All I could see was that cold sore. And I think Katie was probably thinking about it, honestly, if she was being 100% honest.
I thought that was Molly McGrath. I thought that was.
It could have been Molly. I don't know.
Yeah, I get them confused.
Normally I know which game Molly's doing.
So this was emailed to me. I don't know how this escaped us, and we didn't hear the story. Maybe you guys did. President of Florida A&M on Saturday said the historically black college was, quote, taking immediate steps to ensure accountability after its band announcer commented on the weight of the Alabama State University Honeybees dancer.
Oh, yes, I've heard this. Yes.
Now, during halftime of the game between the two schools, Florida A&M band announcer Joe Bullard, who's been with them 50 years, called the dance team that performs with Alabama State's mighty marching Hornets, quote, the new face of Ozempic. And he actually did it on the public
microphone.
address.
Yes, yes, the whole stadium heard it.
Intentionally or accidentally?
I think it was intentionally. I think it is not uncommon for the PA announcer in these situations to maybe burn the other team a little bit or the other band, and he just went a step too far.
Yeah, he just said, hey.
If that's part of the tradition, I mean, where do I know the line?
That's always the question.
They're wanting the guy fired. He just said, hey, look, thank you to the mighty marching Hornets, the new face of Ozempic. And you could hear the crowd like booing.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Can't fire the guy over that.
He meant to do it, but I do think that is not uncommon that you kind of burn the other band there. Yeah. But to your point, there's a line. How do I know where the line is? Well, you know where the line is when you get fired for saying it. You realize I was over the line.
Final thoughts brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew right there. He and his family, they built this wonderful location. It's been there over a decade, giving you a taste of that Delta magic. Not only is Champy's perfect for all your tailgating this football season, you can choose Champy's for your next party at home or at work, wedding receptions, birthday parties, great food, great people. Champy's Chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Game 5 of the World Series tonight. Series tied 2-2. Ohtani, who, by the way, great story told by John Smoltz last night, that Ohtani was 8 years old. His dad played baseball. His mom was, I forget what sport she played. But Ohtani has written out his whole career goals, which included coming to America and playing Major League Baseball. He wants to retire when he's 40. He was pitching last night. It was going well for the Dodgers until Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a home run. Right now, through 15 games, Vlad Jr. is hitting. We're talking all Ohtani, all about the other game. Vlad Jr. is hitting .419, 7 home runs. There is a chance he will finish this postseason with a record number of hits, home runs, and runs scored.
He's been incredible. And, I think a lot of people forget how good his dad was because he's been even better. Yep. It's probably a Ken Griffey, Bobby Bonds situation where the kid is – and Vlad was an absolute stud, 5-tool guy. But, going into the series, that was the guy, along with George Springer, that scared me to death was Vlad Guerrero because so freaking red hot. And, he was the difference last night. And we kind of called this, all this hype on the Dodgers.
I watched every play, and I was like,
Ohtani did nothing from the plate, walked his first at-bat, didn't pitch well.
Nope.
But if you're a baseball fan, this is what you needed because Dodgers go up 3-1, things over.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Tied 2-2, Game 5 tonight, 7 o'clock Fox, and it's definitely going back to Toronto at least for Game 6.
Which brings us to history. I don't know if you saw Buster's tweet earlier this morning. The first time in the history of baseball, the season will start outside the United States and finish outside the United States. How about that?
Wow, that is good.
The first game was played in Tokyo, if you didn't remember.
We are in a college football bubble in the South where we think college football rules the world, and baseball is far off of it. I haven't seen Game 3 or 4 yet, but Game 1 and 2 numbers, 13.3 million in the U.S., 11.6 million in the U.S., you throw in the Japanese market, over 31 million viewers a game.
I will say, though, those U.S. numbers aren't that far removed from a big-time regular season college football game, and this is the World Series.
I mean, I would say, though, it's slightly bigger than our regular season games, right?
Oh, it is. A good regular season football game's approaching 11 million.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a little bit bigger, but this is the World Series we're talking about.
It's their best against the biggest game of the weekend.
Right.
On a big weekend in college football. Yeah. By the way, did you see one of the television ratings this past week?
It's not even news anymore, is it? It happens every week now.
Yeah, but it is literally the Alabama-South Carolina game like we talked on the
Alabama
show.
almost getting beat. That's good TV for a lot of people.
That is really good TV.
It is. Alabama close in the fourth quarter goals, 7.8 million viewers, ABC. Then the end of the Brian Kelly era, 6.8 million in prime time. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, 6.6 million right there. And Missouri Vandy on ESPN, 3.1 million viewers. Most watched game day of Week 9 ever, by the way, in Nashville. So another big week there for ABC and the SEC.
It's every week now. I mean, look, ABC, ABC, ABC right there.
When we continue on the show tomorrow, we will talk more college football, but you've got a new Bama and Bourbon between now and then. They're about to record that, and it'll pop out for you on all our platforms. So set an alert, give us a thumbs up and a follow. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.